And hello, welcome to solo playthroughs. My cram is not working again, so if I go to speak to the computer and I'm looking over there, this is my imaginary friend, clearly, for today. But here we are. We have Bloc by Bloc on the channel. Excited about this one. I will say I'm a little rusty with it, so bear with me. But the rules are pretty accessible. There's a lot of player aids in this one. I do wish they gave you one extra one, because all the player aids are on the back of the faction sheets. So when I'm playing four-handed, like I am today, yeah, the faction sheets are going to need to be flipped over. The other thing I don't really love about it, let's get what the little nitpicks. This not board thing. I mean, I get the handkerchief is probably a little thematic, I guess, on some level, probably more so than even I would realize, but woof, like, this is not a great thing. Just give me a board. I mean, I don't know what was cheaper. I'm assuming this is more expensive than a board, so I find it interesting. Yeah, and it comes in, it was like super folded, it had crazy creases, like I'm ironing out the creases, but the box is such that the crease, like, they just could have come back on some level. So yeah, that's a miss for me. Like, I mean, there are games that have mats. I mean, it's cool. Like Pax Premier Second, I really actually like the mat there. It's really thematic there, and the way you can store the mat, it's nice and rolled. This is not ideal. So you know, getting the nitpicks out of the way early. But here we are. Bloc by Bloc is a very, very political game. I think it was Jared Carmichael who said, if you have a Blue Lives Matter sticker on the back of your car, do not play this game. It is not for you. And that's pretty true. We have Rogue Calypso. I'm excited for this one. I just got this game, but I haven't played it yet. Yeah, it's fairly excellent, man. The or woman, I'm sorry, sorry, misgendering is a problem. So sorry about that. But yeah, it is a I can't do the picture is throwing me off. I can't tell. But yeah, thank you for stopping in, Rogue. It is a pleasure to have some other people excited about this game. I'm going to let you a little bit of my background for those who have not heard me say this before. I was a criminal defense attorney for 8 years. So obviously I come to certain subject matter, such as the subject matter handled in this game, with a very defined slant. You know, it is what it is. And for non-Americans, I think a game like this might be really hard to understand, but I think there are similar issues in many countries around the world as well. So probably a lot more commonality globally than even I would realize. But this game definitely tackles the idea of modern unrest, the idea of modern protest. It very specifically tackles the idea of police overreach and bad police practicing in especially like American inner cities, and the efforts for communities to organize against that and to basically resist the again police overreach and bad government actors. The you know, I don't want to feel. I'll give a little. I mean, look, I met a lot of police officers in my time as a defense attorney who did their job well. I met a lot who did not, and I saw too much to pretend that policing in America is in a healthy state across the board. So I'll just kind of leave it at that. But I do what this game tries to do from a thematic standpoint is super ambitious, and they pulled it off, and it helps. I like that. It helps me. The two designers are both like Philadelphia area guys, so I think that's pretty cool. I have played it once with a friend. We played with 2 players at first, and then we just found it way too easy. And then I find the 4 factions when this game really shines. And like solo, I've just been playing with 4 factions. It's really not that much to manage. Each faction has 1 extra rule on top of the rest. She, her, but do can be any gender in my opinion. I like it. Mike James is a moderate. I find the theme in this game conflicting. Left aloud, the gameplay looks decent enough, though. Yeah, I can definitely see that. Let me, get away from XXX20.fun. Find your love here. Big puffy red heart. I gotta be careful. Last time I did this, I accidentally blocked one of my patrons, so that was, and there was no quick undo button. It's like, no, what did I do? Report, get away, and remove. Excellent. Yeah, so let's get this set up. So there's a big stack of tiles. These are gonna form our blocks. Block by block, it's interesting. There's like a kind of a double meaning to the word. I'm assuming that was somewhat intentional, where it's like you have the city blocks that you're looking at. Additionally, you have these blocks. So your blocks are like representative of a group of people of a certain type. Each faction has 10 blocks, and you're trying to get them more on the board. All on the board, the more of them you have on the board, or in the city, I should say, because they might not be directly on the board. The more you have on the city, the more, and it's not even a board. The more you have on the handkerchief, the more dice you roll. The dice give you an action selection system, and we'll see how that all plays out. So I did randomize the location of these four, and I'm just going to go like every turn, there will be a different first player every turn. So I'll go with like prisoners over to neighbors. The next round we'll start with workers over to prisoners. The third round will go students over to workers, etc., etc. The prisoners, there are some things about this design. I mean, I guess no matter what decisions you make, like I just find a little bit funny. The prisoners get +1 when they're attacking. There are different things that you could be attacking. You could be attacking police vans. You could be attacking police officers. Again, I told you this game does not really hold back from its political message. Can be a little jarring, even for someone who's inclined to be ideologically aligned. So like myself. So that's I'll end there. We're going to take this deck of police ops cards, and I'm going to play on expert level. So, which I probably shouldn't, because I haven't played in about 2 weeks. But it is what it is. So we're going to have the heavy reinforcements cards. We're going to have 4 of them in the game to start. One of the things I really liked what they did is that if you are not playing on expert, you would find all the cards that said expert and just take them out. So they made the setup very, very easy for that to kind of change the different levels. I find the 4 heavy reinforcement cards to be quite a decent challenge. I will probably lose this game. Like I did play about. I did win on expert, but I lost more than I won. I can assure you of that. There are some tricks to it to try to figure out how to put things together. If it ends quickly, I'll just reset it and then we can play again. Getting it all to fit on this camera, however, is going to prove to be a little bit of an interesting puzzle. But I'll just put the police ops cards up here. We're going to have the loot cards. I'm going to shuffle them up. The loot give you various abilities, and there are essentially 2 different ways to get loot around a shopping area. But I'm going to, again, shuffle these up and get these off camera. How are you finding the components in this game? The card stock looks especially frugal. Card stock I haven't had a problem with. It's all fine. I mean, the dice are garbage. I mean, I will say that. Like they're like I don't know, man. I would if they spent more for the handkerchief than than a board. Like they really should have just gotten nice dice. They're very, very small. It is what it is. It makes the store better. I'm sure I cut down a lot on weight for shipping, but they are noticeably bad dice. You probably, if that's something that really matters to you, you're going to want to sub in dice from another game for sure, because these little things are not the greatest. So, especially if you have a surface that might have like a little bit of a ripple to it, like, yeah, it's, it can be interesting, but it hasn't been too much of a problem for sure. I'm going to put the loot cards over here. Now we have these cards. I forget what they call these cards. The liberation cards, which I'm just going to throw all across the table. All right, so we're going to get these together. and we're gonna put one down on every block. Now, there's a couple of ways you could do it. Like, part of me is like, well, if I ever was gonna need one during the game, I could just draw one from the deck. I think that putting them out on the table as you set up does mean it's like one less thing that it'll give you like zero chance of forgetting to draw one. So that's fine. I mean, I'm not sure putting one on the you know, putting them out like this is absolutely necessary, where you could just have a pile off to the side, but it is what it is. Um, I mean, as you know the game, I'm guessing if you like read the backs of these, like it could give you like some ideas of what you want to do. I do not know these cards that well yet, so and I'm definitely not like taking the time to read them as I'm putting them out. But these cards, if you liberate a block, you'll access this card. It will give you a choice, and it will basically give a benefit to each of the factions who has a block there, who has a block, a cube there when the block is liberated. And we'll see how that all plays out. So this goes over here. Now I'm going to take all of these tiles. Now these tiles, it's very important that they all are on this side as opposed to the colorful sides, but they're supposed to be a different orientation. You do not want all these facing the same way. Just the game is not balanced for them to be all facing the same way. It's balanced to have a lot more variety. So what I'm going to do is the rulebook says to separate these out to A, B, and C. That just makes cleanup and setup a little bit more annoying. So we're not doing that. I'm just going to put them out as I get letters that match, right? So this is a C. Again, I'm not switching it to have the C right side up, so to speak. I'm just putting it down in whatever orientation is in my hand. So here's an A, I'll put that over there. Here's a B, I'll put that there. Now you'll notice these circles are coming out. The yellow, the green, the orange, and the purple circles are going to correspond with our 4 factions. Again, orange is prisoners. Again, another thing which I find pretty hilarious. The neighbors are, the students are purple, the neighbors are green, and the workers are yellow. And I didn't go through all of their abilities yet. I talked about the prisoners real quick. The workers, they can use any die when they're doing a build or swap occupation action. The students can, a solo block can move through districts with police squads or police vans. That's probably the least useful of the abilities in my experience. And then the neighbors, when they build a barricade, they can build 2 barricades with 1 action instead of just 1, which can be really helpful. But again, so the circles here represent possible occupations. There are 3 kinds of occupations. We're going to start with a starting occupation for each faction on the board. This is a C. All right, the pink gives you a place where another occupation could be built. Now, you could build a occupation whether or not a block is liberated. If you ever liberated a block, you would just flip it over. You just want to make sure you keep the orientation the same way. I think it was that way to start. And if that's wrong, I don't know if someone could tell me that's wrong. I can't remember. It was so like 30 seconds ago. Why could I remember that? So if you build an occupation, again, occupations give you certain abilities. The one that's really important early is the assembly hall, where it allows you to spend dice to get more blocks out. Again, the more blocks you have on the in the city, the more you can the more dice you roll at the beginning of your turn, the more dice you roll at the beginning of your turn, the more actions you have to do things on your turn. This is an A, this is a C, this is a B, this is a C, this is a B, this is an A, I think it's the last A, B, 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 a lot of these are straight up C and B. Excellent. So we'll go through the rest of the setup rules here. So everything's out. We set up the tokens and the dice deploy. 1 police to the state districts. 1 police van and 3 police squads in each state district tile. So on the game to start, we have 1, 2, 3, 4 tiles that are state districts. Those are the hardest to liberate. I mean, among the hardest to liberate, I guess there are some faction-specific tiles that are hardest to liberate as well. But, this is where the police are going to start. So we have our 4 police vans. The police are intentionally very white. Everything about the police is white. The vans are white. The cubes are white. It's just white. And this we have police tank. This is our countdown timer. If this ever gets down to zero, game's over. So we want to prevent that. We're also going to put three police cubes on every one of these tiles. And trying to put them in it's nice to put them in the exact same spot, because when you start moving police, it's going to be important to remember what you've moved and what you haven't. This goes here, and this goes here. All right, this is cool. So now you'll notice the pink are public spaces, which is, I didn't finish that explanation before. When you're in the pink and you sorry, I'm like 12. When you're on a pink space, you can liberate it. That will basically form the start of where you're liberating blocks. So basically, if I'm going to liberate a block, what I need is double the amount of cubes in that area. I need double the value, right? So this is a 4. So if I have 8 cubes in there, that block will be liberated. You cannot liberate a block, however, unless there is an adjacent block that is also liberated. And adjacency is orthogonal. So if I have 8 in overcrowded jail, it's still not going to liberate unless one of the adjacent blocks is also liberated, right? Now, public spaces, the subplaces ignore the adjacency rule. So you can start a liberation movement in a public space and then radiate out from there. So that's going to be a big part of your strategy, is figure out, all right, where can we start this movement and then go block by block. So you see, it all comes full circle. Obviously, I am cutting off the very bottom and the very top of our little playing surface here, so you will notice that. Now, we're going to have to pick our starting locations. We also have this reaction deck. The reaction deck's fine. I'm just going to roll a die to figure out the starting one. It's going to be 3. So the metro is going to be open. So that means when we move, all of our pieces, all of our cubes can move through a metro station. And you'll see the metro stations with these M's. A couple of those cards say metro station closed. So, but it's going to be open at least for our first set of turns, which is very nice. All right. Randomly assign each player, did that, choose starting districts. Now, each faction, we can choose where we want to start. Generally speaking, you want to start far from any police officers. So with the students, if I went there, I'd be adjacent to the police there, which is rough. If I go there, I'm not adjacent to anybody. If I go there, anytime you see a curve, those highways are considered adjacent. So you can have a movement of police squads from there into there. The van could go there in one movement. So purple is the students are going to go right in the center here. We're going to put the starting thing for the yellow factions. There also is some strategic advantage of starting in as many 6s as possible, and that will make sense in a little bit when I talk about why. I'm going to put the orange over here, so that's nice, and we'll put the green, the neighbors are up here. All right. If you ever see the can't go through symbol, that means, again, the police will not move through there, but you also can't move through there, which is fine. It's usually a better thing for you, because it kind of gives police less access to you. So for me to start my liberation movement, if I go into this plaza, that's really nice, because the police are kind of cut off from getting there, which will be good. All right, I'm going to, as a side note, if I were to put the students there, if you put them in any place that is considered adjacent to the police, you would also start with barricades. Barricades can be very helpful to prevent police from entering into your little block there. If a police is ever in a location that has none of your blocks and only a occupation, the occupation is booted. Losing your starting occupation as any of the factions is definitely a bad thing. Now, there are adjustments for we were getting 1 block for each of these dudes. There are adjustments in a 3-player game. You put 2 blocks out. In a 4-player game, in a 2-player game, you put 3 blocks out. In a 1-player game, you're just getting 1 block of each. The one of the reasons I do think the 2-player game is a lot easier. Being able to put 3 blocks out on your starting location is a huge advantage to the players, for sure. So I'll put that there, and then I need a green. We'll put this over there. Alrighty then. So city is created. We have district guide, this, nighttime, police ops. Great. I am beginning of the turn. It's been a couple weeks. Give me like one round and we'll be set. So there's 2 phases to a turn. Is it on here? Yeah, nighttime. Yeah, nighttime and then sunrise. So for each faction will move, and then there's going to be a police reaction at the end of the night, which could be pretty devastating. But the police will also do something at the end of each of our turns as well. So at the beginning of our turn, we check morale and draw police ops cards. That makes sense. Let me check the chat. I repeated the dice in mine already. Replaced the dice on mine already, says Rogue. Yeah, the dice are awful. Awful. So the minimum number of dice each faction will roll is 3. If I can get 5 blocks on the board, it'll get up to 4. If I can get 9 of my 10 blocks on the board for any one faction, it will get up to 5. Oh, I should have also put out this. So we have the conditions deck. Now the conditions deck is how you win the game. To successfully win the game, you see this little flag token for each of these 4 factions. Each of the 4 factions are going to need to get their flag on one of these conditions. They're the win conditions. There also is a semi-co-op nature of this game too. You could play. I will never play that mode. I don't know, man. I'm not a designer, but we have to make this game to meet everybody's needs. And some people like semi-co-op. I think it's just a waste of design space and time, but that's just my personal pet peeve and opinion. Yeah, I would never see why anyone would want to play the semi-co-op. But these conditions will give you certain things you have to try to do. So, for instance, if I was going to get this condition, the students would be able to put their flag on here if they've liberated their private university. There is pretty much a corresponding condition card for each of the level 6s that you see on the board, because they are the hardest to liberate. You need to get 12 blocks in place. Generally speaking, there are some ways that you can make that less than 12. But then this one, like, have 2 liberated districts in popular districts. Now this would mean one faction would have an occupation in 2 public places. There are 1, 2, 3 public blocks on the board. If they did that, as soon as they complete that condition, they can put it. Now it has to be one faction though. So the neighbors had a occupation on the park, on the plaza, which is liberated, and had an occupation on the street market, and that would be liberated. Then the neighbors can be like this. Great. However, the neighbors, if I then pull this condition card from the neighbors, well, the neighbors can only do 1 win condition. That's it. So all 4, we're going to be a little bit dependent on getting lucky in pulling conditions that all 4 factions are going to be able to do feasibly. But the conditions are somewhat predictable, so that shouldn't be that hard. There's going to be one that corresponds to all of the state districts. And then there's this one in here. Yeah, 2 liberated districts, build occupations in 2 of your own liberated districts. So I would need like 2 yellows or 2 oranges or 2 greens, and then that faction can claim that. And then there's one, I think there's one about adjacency, Supermax, Interior Ministry. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I think there should be one about adjacency. 2 of your own, building the airport. Supermax, Telecom, Interior. How many of these cards are there? Am I making this up? Condition cards. Well, it doesn't. Condition cards. It's 11. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Oh, here's each. I'm sorry, it's red. I kept saying it as orange. Yeah, so 2 liberated districts that have to be adjacent is the one. So yeah, orange, purple, green, and yellow. I kept saying the red as like a faction color, and I was very confused. So what we're going to do is we're going to shuffle these up. We're going to flip one over, and this is going to be an available condition. So if one faction is able to get an occupation on the telecom network hub, so we have to get over here. We'd have to get all the police out of there, and then we would need to flip that over. So we have to get 12 blocks there, liberate it, and then we'd have to spend an action on the next turn to build a structure. Now, building a structure, you need to have a die that is equal to or greater than the number, unless you're the workers. The workers can build an occupation with any die because, you know, they're workers. That's what they do. So we only start the game with one condition out. How do we get more out? Well, we can spend a die to move our blocks on to have meetings. And then at that point, once we have cubes in meetings, we get to flip over more conditions. The more conditions we have out, the harder it is to get a new condition available. So basically, since there's only one revealed condition, it only takes one cube in a meeting to get another condition out. Once there's two, however, we need 2 cubes in a meeting to get another condition out. We could go ahead and have 3 cubes in a meeting right off the bat, and then what that would allow us to do is to pull 2 conditions in one sunrise, and you'll kind of see how that plays out. So we are going to need to see a lot of conditions, and hopefully we got lucky that we only need to see like 5 or 6, and like, oh, that's feasible. That's a really bad condition for us. It's not super realistic to expect that we're going to get all the way down here and we're going to be able to take care of that, at least not anytime soon. We'll see how kind of the board plays out over the first couple of rounds, and maybe I will change my tune on that. I'll put this condition deck over here, and we'll just have the staging area for the police. You'll notice this police morale thing. The morale will go up as the police do certain things. We want to keep it low. The more morale, the higher the morale, that's the higher the number of the police ops cards the police will draw every day. It also means it is how much the tank will move. So if the police morale is up to 3, I mean, this game could be over in 3 rounds. Or 4 rounds, really, but that's not going to be enough rounds. So there are only a few ways you can move the tank back. There are definitely several ways that you can reduce morale, and there should be a police activity card, right here. So yeah, morale is reduced whenever we build an occupation, whenever we defeat a police van, or wherever we liberate a district. If you liberate a public district, you also would move the police van, the countdown tank, back. So again, police van, countdown tank. Just, similar but different. So that will be totally fine. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and we're going to start the turn for orange. The start of your turn, form a block here, 4 rolling dice. Great. We're going to start our turn for the prisoners. I'm going to keep the students thing face up so we can have access to some of the rules, and we'll go from there. So the prisoners, beginning of their turn, we're going to add a block to here. Again, this is our starting occupation. That's the faction start. Then we have the assembly halls and then the mutual aid centers. I'll explain what they do as we go. Hold on one sec. All right, standard revolt of my sinuses to start this game. So we're going to go through the whole turn sequence. We're going to check the police morale, and we're going to draw police ops cards. Police morale is 1. We're going to draw 1 police ops card. We will be going through this deck several times, so be aware of that. Heavy reinforcements. +1 police morale. So that's super fun. All police vans deploy 1 police squad. So we have 4 police vans. So 1 squad, 2 squads, 3 squads, and 4 squads get put on the board. If fewer than 4 police vans are stationed in the city, deploy 1 van to the district with the highest police ID that has 1 police squad but no van. Obviously, that doesn't apply. The police are not going to move or anything. That is their turn when you get the heavy reinforcements card. So one of my big goals now with the prisoners is I want to do something that's going to keep this police morale down to 1. I do not want to have to draw 2 cards on the workers' turn. Again, the workers are next. So I'm going to take 3 dice because, again, that is the minimum number of dice I can roll. I will get 4 dice if I get 5 blocks on the board. Obviously, at this point, I only have 2. I rolled a 1, 2, and a 6. Now, what can I do with these dice? Great questions. Your options on your turn is that I can spend 1 die to, excuse me, my sinuses are really messed up right now. I can spend 1 die to move 1 or more distance between any 2 districts. So I can literally move from here over to here. The thing is, I have to trace my movement in a way that I don't end up in a district with police presence. Unless I'm the students, I can move 1 block through where the police are and make that happen. And that could be a die of any number. It doesn't really matter, right? So I could spend any die as long as I'm not in a class. So as long as I'm not like currently engaged with police, I can spend any die and I can move a mob, so more than 1 block, or I can move 1 block anywhere I want on the board. Again, not just making sure I can trace to a place that doesn't involve going through police. And that even means I could go over here, use the metro, and end up over here, right? So if there's a police officer there, whatever, the metro is open, so I can use the metro. The police will never use the metro, you can. So that's one thing. I could build the barricade, so I can spend any die, and I can build 1 barricade. Let's create some obstacle for the police getting in. If you're going to build 1 barricade, you probably want to try to get 3, and you'll see why in a little bit. We could, so that's fine. That's what I can do with any value. District difficulty is going to be different. So if I want to build a occupation, or if I want to swap an occupation, I need a die that's greater than or equal to the place where I'm trying to build or swap my occupations out, or I can actually engage in an attack with police. So I could actually move to where the police are, and then I could spend a die to try to kick some of the police out or defeat them and send them back to the staging area. However, I would need a lot more blocks. Like, so I can only spend 1 die per block I have. So since I only have 2 blocks, and the smallest number of police in any one district right now is 4, that's not going to be a really effective strategy for a little bit. So what I want to do is, again, get that morale down. How am I going to do this best? I'm going to spend 1 die, and I'm going to move these 2 guys over there. Again, move 1 or blocks between any 2 districts. So that was I used the 1 die for that. I'm going to spend a 6 to put out an assembly hall here. I can build an occupation on the public square. Now, I cannot build an occupation on the square of another faction who's not in the game or in the game. It doesn't matter. So since all the factions are in the game, I cannot build an orange occupation on a purple circle, so to speak. I could build it on a white circle, a pink circle, or an orange circle, and that's it. So I built that occupation with that. Since I built an occupation, police morale goes down, and now I just have this 2. I will go ahead and build a barricade, and I think it makes some sense to build this barricade here. And we'll see that play out. So that is the end of the prisoner's turn. Since I'm tracking that, I'm using that fire to indicate first player. I'll use a token to indicate whose actual turn it is as we go. And I'm going to pause this real quick. And we're back. All right, so that was the prisoner's turn. They got an occupation up. They built 1 barricade. We got our extra worker, our extra block because of our starting occupation. Fantastic. We go to the workers. The workers are going to get 1 block on their starting occupation. And now we're going to draw 1 police ops card because we got the police morale back to 1. Police ops card is light reinforcements plus 1 police morale. I see a pattern, guys. All police bands deploy 1 police squad. So again, this is why having the extra heavy reinforcements cards can be kind of brutal, but we'll see how this plays out. The police will often end up having a bunch in one place, not doing a whole lot, but there is a card that kind of resets them. It's actually pretty clever. I like this system for what it is. All right, so the workers now are going to roll 3 dice. I would like to get that police morale down again, but that's going to be easier said than done. I could maybe get some guys over there, build another thing, but there's only going to be so much building I can do. So I'm really just trying to keep that morale low. So we'll see. I rolled a 5, 6, 4. That's pretty excellent, guys. I will move. I can easily move over here. So it doesn't really, these are great dice. It doesn't, you know, no real complaints there. I'm going to spend the 5 to put out my assembly hall. That lowers police morale. And then I'm going to spend the 6 to build a barricade. So it's just really big rolls there. But garment shop's pretty safe. There's nothing really, you know, super threatening to it. So it's a good place to go. The smartphone factory would be a lot more dangerous. And actually, I wouldn't even have, oh, I could go through the metro to get to the smartphone factory, but that's a little bit of a precarious situation. We're now going to go to the student's turn. So basically, it's actually I'm supposed to be drawing the police ops cards before I put the worker in my start faction space. So good to know. We'll go here. I'm going to flip this over so I have access to the nighttime rules. And first thing we're going to do is draw 1 police ops card. Is the power military raids. So the squads are moving. +1 to police morale. 3 cards in a row. Not all the cards do that, I promise. All groups of police squads advance into adjacent districts with occupations. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna check around. Are there any adjacent districts with occupations adjacent to this guy? No, this is not adjacent. It's again, adjacency is only orthogonal. Doesn't work. No occupations adjacent to this guy. No occupations adjacent to this guy. No occupations adjacent to this guy. So they don't move. Squads and districts with occupations hold their positions. Again, that obviously also does not apply. So that's done. We just got the +1 to morale, which is really annoying. I'm going to put this guy out, my start thing. We're going to roll 3 dice. Where are the dice? 1, 2, 3. The students rolled a 2, 3, and a 5. I mean, it's kind of crazy. I really just want to. I don't want them pulling 2 police ops cards every turn, so we're gonna go here. That is adjacent though. That's a. Oof. I don't love that. The neighbors are next, however, so I can do some cool things with the neighbors, I think. Oh man, so we're gonna go 1. I'm gonna use a 2 to move over there. I'm gonna use the 5 to build an occupation. Keep the morale down. And actually, I'm just gonna move 1 guy over there in case things go sideways over there. I'm gonna build the occupation, and then with my last die, I will get a barricade out here. It is adjacent to the police though, so that's that just feels wrong. That's adjacent. Let me do it over here. I had the 5. I'll build it here, and I have the neighbors, and hopefully we can just kind of cordon off this section of the city. So if I go 1, build the occupation, morale goes down, and I'll build a barricade here. And that could be really bad. There's a lot of cards I would not want to see. Let's say I just pull 2 with the neighbors. Then the neighbors don't have a really great place to build either. Nope, I think that's what I'm going to do. We'll make that work. And hopefully not pull. There are definitely some cards that would be very, very bad to pull right now. So we're going to go to the neighbor's turn. Oh, I'm dropping a thing. And this can come out because I changed my mind. Decided to keep all my locus of operations up there, a little more consolidated. And now we go to the neighbor's turn. So the neighbors, we're pulling the first police ops cards. Don't kill me. Whoa, light reinforcements. +1 police morale. All police squads deploy 1 cube. This has been some interesting shuffling, Greg. 3 and 4. Well, that's interesting. I'm glad I keep like lowering this morale, but this is At some point, I'm going to need to do something other than this ridiculous first turn that I've just done 3 times. Yeah, that's good. I don't have a great place for the neighbors to go now. But if I leave police morale up there, that's going to be super bad because it means the countdown clock's going to go down twice, and I do not want that to happen. So, I mean, even if I build a structure that gets knocked away, that's not the worst. So I'm rolling 3 dice. I rolled a 4, 4, 5, so good rolling early. I'm going to use 1 die. Well, yeah, I'm going to use 1 die to build 2 barricades here. Remember, the neighbors build 2 barricades with 1 die, not just 1. I'm going to use another die to move here. And then I'll use the 4 to build an occupation here. Again, we're just building some sacrificial occupations, I think, just to keep morale down. And we're done. So we've got a lot of police cubes on the board. They haven't moved at all. That's very unusual. But we've definitely put ourselves in a precarious place there and a precarious place over here. We're going to wrap that up though. So we're done with the nighttime phase. Let me flip over the students thing here too. So now we go to sunrise. We're going to resolve our reaction card. So we're going to take the top card of this deck. We're going to flip it over. Notice I didn't do any meetings. We're not going to get any more conditions out yet. But here we go. So public districts, vans are repaired and police attacks. So police vans take 3 different attacks to be defeated. The first one puts it on their side, second one puts it on its back, and then it comes off the board. If you defeat a police van, again, you lower the police morale. Obviously, we don't have that many cubes on the board to really be able to pull it off. But if we had only partially defeated the police van, the van would be completely defeated, repaired at this time. Locate the police van station in the lowest ID district, then locate the public district with the highest police ID. Move the van to that district following the shortest path. So we have 15, 14, 13, and 12. So you know the police ID district based on the numbers in the bottom corner. So we're trying to find the public district with the highest police ID. So the public districts are the pink ones. We have a 20, we have a 21, and we have a 22. This van is going to go from the police van station in the lowest ID, which is 12. Again, the rest are 13, 14, and 15, and it's going to try to move into there. So that's a little bit of a problem. Yeah, police attack. So police attack happens now. Now the police van's going to move. So the police van's going to go shortest path is going to be 1, 2, 3. So it's going to go 1. The police van went through this barricade and just knocked it out. So that was a waste of an action. It's going to go 2, and then it's going to go 3. Except it can't get in there because we have the barricade, so it stops right where it is in the polluted slums. And that's going to be the end of its movement. Once it gets there, it's going to deploy 1 police squad. So we have a police van and we have a and so it doesn't destroy anything. The police attacked at the beginning of the reaction card. Now they're stuck there, so I can basically have 1 turn, 1 round to try to deal with this police officer and make him go away before he obliterates everything that is there. All right, liberate districts. If I had twice the number of cubes as there was the value of a block, that's when we would liberate it. We're going to check meeting attendance. There is no meeting attendance, so we don't get any new conditions. Then we're going to check police morale, advance the countdown tank, and pass the first faction token, first faction flame. So this moves down to 9 because the police morale is 1. And now we go to the next round. The metro remains open for the next round. This moves down here, and we're going to start with the workers' turn. rinse and repeat. ID Jester, what's up? Hey Solo, what is up? Thanks for playing this. Happy Thanksgiving to you and your family. If I don't see you before that, yeah, you too, man. Thanks for stopping in. Yeah, this this game is nuts. I'm still learning some of the ins and outs, but yeah, it's very smooth. Like there's a lot about it. Like there's a game like other games I would not have felt comfortable saying, "Oh, I haven't played this in 2 weeks. Let me try to get it on the channel." This one, I think you're like, again, it's all pretty laid out for you. The rule book's pretty accessible. There's some ambiguities that I think they could have done a better job, especially with essentially a third edition of this game. But for the most part, it's very smooth. It's very accessible, and I appreciate a lot of what it does. I don't appreciate this police van sitting in the middle of one of my districts. So that is going to be a problem. If I'm thinking of, like, the fact that I kept having to build occupations was frustrating, because what I really wanted to do with the neighbors is move them there and block off that van, because that was very kind of foreseeable. But I just kept having to build districts to keep that morale low. But I think we'll have a chance to defeat this guy. We'll need to roll decently well, but again, the value of the attacks, again, you're just comparing to the value of the district difficulty. The district difficulty in that area is only a 4. And remember, I have my prisoners right nearby, and they get +1 on their attack rolls, which can be helpful. So we're going to the worker's turn. We're taking a police ops card. Hey, not a woof. Not +1 to police morale, but not exactly great either. So all groups of police squads advance into adjacent students' districts. Squads and districts with occupations hold their positions. So this is a solo police squad. He will not move. They will always leave one behind. They're going to go into students' districts. So we'll go one at a time, starting up here. So we have the police squads here. They're going to go into an adjacent student district. They're going to move into here. Now, these guys have already moved. They're not going to move again. And obviously, they're in a place in occupation, so they're happy as can be. These guys have an adjacent student district, so they're going to go here. And this guy stays behind. No adjacent student districts for either of these two. So all the movements are done. And we got some problems. I'm going to move these now to the left corner to, again, set myself up. Again, just trying to keep everything really orderly. I can get somebody else in the assembly hall, even though there are police squads there, but I'm going to be limited in what I do beyond that. The workers are going to add a faction to a block to their starting. That blocked them off from getting to there. Oh, I can take a metro stop into there, which is good. So the workers are going to get 1 on their starting thing. I have 3 workers blocks on the board, so I roll 3 dice. I rolled a 6, 4, and a 2. It's going to be a primary goal of mine to kick this van out and at least save the green, because that's a starting faction. If I lose this purple district, that just is what it is. It's not great, but we'll have to do. So how could I possibly save that too? Maybe. So if I use the 2, I could move both of these guys into here. And then I could use the 4 to defeat 1 squad. And then I can use the 6 to injure this van. So the van only has 2 health left. All right, I was only able to get in there because of the metro, and I believe you can take the metro even if there are police where you're going. But it just stopped my movement as soon as I arrived there. We now are going to go to the students. So I'm going to go to the students' turn. Let me flip this over so I can see the breakdown of the turns. So police morale is a 1. We're drawing 1 police ops card. Prisoners districts. All right, so all groups of police squads advance to adjacent prisoners districts. We're going to go here. Is there a prisoner district adjacent to those 5 squads? No. Is there one adjacent to these guys, these guys, these guys? There are none adjacent. The prisoner district, these 2 are kind of in a corner. These 2 are, this one isn't adjacent to any police squads. So that's done. we're going to put a cube in the starting occupation for the students. We're rolling 3 dice. Uh-oh, had a bit of an earthquake. That's good. Rolling 3 dice. I rolled a 1, 3, 3. Not the roll of dreams. Now, one of the things you can do is you can combine dice. So if I was doing something that had a difficulty of a 6, but I didn't, this was my roll, I could combine the 3 and the 3, and that becomes a 6, and that will allow me to do one thing. It's just obviously not very efficient from an action standpoint, but it is an interesting idea. I do want to get rid of that van quick to try to rebuild a blockade there before these police squads all enter there. This occupation is a done deal. I mean, I'm not going to be able to salvage that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the 1 to move these guys into the metro. They can go over there into the metro back here. And then I'm going to use the 3 and the 3. That's going to be enough to get to the difficulty of 4, so I can injure that van. And we're going to try to send that van home on the neighbor's turn. That's done. We're going to go to the neighbor's turn. We're going to draw a police ops card. This should be card number 7 in the game. It is. All right, this is good. Strategic rotation. All groups of police squads reduced down to 5 max per district. Extra squads return to the staging area. So we have 6 squads here, 6 squads here. And why I said that was good is these squads stayed put. I didn't want them to move into there. That could have been super bad. The neighbors are going to get another thing in their starting occupation. We're going to roll 3 dice. I rolled a 1, 3, and a 6. So part of me is wondering, maybe, especially since I have the prisoners coming up, I can't build barricades because I'm in a clash. That's frustrating. That's not great. No, I should do it now. Part of it, I'm going to lose the loss of police morale because this, and again, I have 3 heavy reinforcement cards still on the deck, so this guy's probably going to come back pretty quick, but I'm not going to be able to build the barricades I want to build unless I get rid of that police van. So it's a little bit of a waste. I was actually would have been a little bit better to get a heavy reinforcements card or a light reinforcements card. So I'm going to kick this van out. That lowers police morale, but again, it's already down to a 1. That's with a 6. I have a 1 and a 3 left. I'm going to build, well, they're not going to leave that occupation anyway. Right, they never leave occupation. So maybe I don't do that. Maybe I don't do that. I don't want to do that. Yeah, hopefully I'll have a better, with the prisoners, I can come in here and hopefully do something a little bit more strategically sound. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to spend a 1 to get another block on the assembly hall. Again, when you have that occupation on any value, what's a turn, form a block there. I'm going to spend a, oh, then I could save this out. Yeah, I'm going to spend my next 2 dice to put to put 3 barricades there. Remember, I form 2 and then I can form 1, and I think if I can block off the park, it gives me some kind of area where I could start liberating. I'm gonna need to get to the plaza probably next turn. This police van has taken up a lot of my actions this turn, but if I can get rid of this police van and then next turn really start liberating the plaza, I think that makes sense. I do want to save this park and give me maybe another area that I can radiate out from. But again, you're seeing I'm not even getting close to this telecom network, which is a bit of a problem. All right, so that's that. We go to the prisoners, and we're going to wrap out the round. And I definitely have to make this police van go away. I would love that morale to increase now. It did not work out. So all groups of police squads advance into adjacent commercial districts. So these 4 come here. I probably should have built this here, to be honest with you. That would have been smarter. Actually, let me do it in order. Is there a commercial district adjacent? That's state. This is commercial. They're not going to leave area. They're going to hold their position because they're in a place with an occupation. These 4 are going to come here. Again, 1 stays behind. These 4 are going to come here. 1 stays behind, and then that's it. So a little bit. I got all those cards that had +1 morale, and then I was hoping for 1 in the last 2 turns. It just didn't work out. But now I have these 4 guys in the middle of my stuff, up to no good, making trouble in my neighborhood. So we're going to put this here, and now I'm rolling 3 dice. A 5, 2, 2. I will move this guy over here with the 5. Oh, yeah, I'll move them both in here with the 5, the 2. I'll use the 5 to knock him off. Again, not the most efficient way for that to play out. And then I have a 2. I could attend the meeting. I could just get another cube out. We'll go there. So a couple things I haven't done at all yet. I haven't messed with the loot deck, which you'll see. And I just haven't really been able to start liberating. We just had a policeman in my face right from the start. So that's the end of the nighttime phase. We go to sunrise. In sunrise, the first thing we're going to do is resolve the reaction card. Highest ID district. Vans are repaired and police attack. So when police attack, we're going to send this guy home, and we're defeating this occupation because there was no cubes there. So again, since there are 2 police officers, basically each police officer is attacking 1 thing. So that was the end of that attack. Note, I cannot counter. There is no me attacking them. I can only attack them during the action phase. Locate the police van station in the lowest ID district. So 13, 14, and 15. So we have 13. It's going to go to the district with the highest police ID. Move the van to that district following the shortest path. The highest police ID on the board right now. Are you kidding me? Is this 22 again? Why did I forget this? Locate the district with the highest police ID. 1. Oh, there's 3 highways. Yeah, so I think it's 22 again. It's great. They're going to find the shortest district, the shortest path. Shortest path is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's going to end up over there. So again, we have another police van up at our business, and that deploys 1 squad. We got some problems. This is not starting well. I told you I felt a little rusty coming in. Yeah, we can reset this quick if we need to, but that's fine. So liberate districts, no. Meeting attendance, no. Win conditions, no. Police morale, and countdown goes down 1. We're now going to go to the next round. This flame moves over here, and the students are going to start this round off. We're going to draw 1 police ops card. What is it? Snatch squads. +1 police morale. So that's up again. All groups police squads advance into adjacent districts with blocks. This is only a solitary thing. It's not going to move. Solitary thing. It's not going to move. There are blocks in here, so these guys are going to come here. There's blocks there and there. So what do we do? Well, the tiebreaker, the priority is the highest district ID. So 21 is higher than 18. So these guys are going to move over here. I already moved these guys. And keeping these orderly is important. these three are going to move here. I'm probably losing that now. Yikes. And there are no adjacent blocks over here. Yeah, I definitely should have built these barricades down here. Just wasn't really thinking. And that's fine. I'll move these over to indicate they've all been moved. I don't think this is going to end in a dub. People, that goes there. Students are going to deploy one in their starting faction. They have 3 on the board. Remember, 1 was sent back. We're rolling 3 dice. I rolled a 2, a 3, and a 5. I can use the... do I just want to defeat 2 things? Police morale is up, which is a problem. It's a bad roll. That's a bad roll. Remember, the metro's locked down, so I can't use the metro. Police morale's a 2, so I'm probably going to be drawing 2 cards next turn. Ugh, that's not good. Not good at all. I'm going to spend the 2. Yeah, 2 and a 3. If I had a 4, I could do some things. 2, 3, 5. Two, 5. Yeah, not having any loot is also proving to be a problem. So my actions have been really forced by them going to that plaza twice. I think what I try to do is if I can clear out this area and get 8 cubes in there, which is actually somewhat doable, I think that's going to be the best bet. I have to liberate this district this turn. So I'm going to move. I can move a solitary unit through because I'm the students. I'm going to use the 5 to get rid of that cube. And then I'm going to use the 3 to... I mean, that's a really garbage roll. The 3, I could have put out a barricade here before I left. I'll just barricade that. So I barricade, I move, I defeat 1 police squad. I'm going to get 2 police ops cards. And we'll see how these go for us. So we're going to move to the neighbor's turn. The first one is heavy reinforcements. +1 police morale, so it's up to bold. We're going to get a police squad in each district with a van. So 1, 2, and a 3. So that 1 squad went away, 1 comes back. There are fewer than 4 police vans. Deploy 1 van to the police district, to the district with the highest police ID that has at least 1 police squad but no van. So this is a 1, that's a 2, that's a 6, that's a 9, that's a 12. This is a 13. So we put the police van over here because we have squads with no van over here. Oh, not bad. It's the park. They're all in 21 right now. Police van shows up in the park, which is honestly, the park is a lost cause right now anyway. So I've held out to my starting faction, my starting occupations at least, but the other occupations I built have been bad news. So again, it has squads. No police van, so that's what it gets. So that van, one van comes back on the board. The next one is squad movement, movement to neighbor districts. These guys are all going to move here. Everyone else is in a place with an occupation or not adjacent to a neighbor district. So that's done. All right, I'm gonna deploy a cube to my starting thing. That's 5 of my units on the board. So I will actually be rolling 4 dice. These 2 are gonna go away at night, unfortunately, but at least we'll have 4 dice for the turn. I rolled a 4, 5, 5, 6. That is a good roll. So I'm going to defeat 2 of these with the 5 and the 6. I'm going to kick out 2 of these with the other 5. So again, I could defeat 2 or kick them out. When you kick them out, you just kick them out to an adjacent district. I'll just kick them out into the junior college. And then with my last die, I'm going to move all 3 of these guys into here. I'm going to need to roll really well as the prisoners, but I think we have an outside chance of like kind of saving this round and potentially kind of turning the tide of the game a bit. So that is done. Neighbors bringing it with their turn, and now we go to the prisoners. We're drawing 2 police ops cards. First, we have all groups of police squads moving to public districts. That means these 3 are going to move into here. No one else is going to move because either they're in a place with an occupation or they're only a solitary. This one would move into there, except it can't. It gets stopped by the barricade. One barricade comes off and it just stays. So remember, one was trying to move because there were 2 there, and then you take off an equal number of barricades as there were police units that tried to move. That's done. Next, we have all groups advance into workers' districts. This guy's going to come over here. No one else is going to try to move. I'll set this up and put them all over in the left. Done. The prisoners are going to put this out in their starting occupation. We're rolling 4 dice because I have 5 on the board. Roll high, baby. 1, 5, 5, 5. That's high. So what I'm going to do is move these 2 guys into here. That gives me a total of 7 districts in there, and I just need an 8th. And then with my 3 5s, I'm going to defeat that and injure the van. The van has 1 health left, so hopefully I roll 1 4 with the workers, and we could send this van home, get a thing in there, and again, we'll be able to liberate that district, which is pretty huge. Still are drawing 2 cards because we're still at the bold level. Probably gonna get heavy reinforcements too, which is gonna make life a little bit harder. I'm gonna need to roll 2 4s with the workers, and I'm only rolling 3 dice. So think high, baby. We're going to the workers. We're gonna flip this over. We're drawing 2 police op cards. First one is district patrols. All group of police squads advance into the adjacent districts with the highest police ID. 7, 12, 3. So these 2 are going to kind of back up here. These guys stay because, there's something happening. There's an occupation there. This one's going to try to move in there. It can again. The barricade goes away. So the barricades have been highly ineffective for me. So we tried to move him. So I'll put that over there. And then 20 would move into 13. So even though it's in a higher number than 13, it still is going to follow these rules. That's 17. So it's going to move over here. So again, they move into the adjacent district with the highest ID, even if theirs is higher than what they're moving into. So this is the end of that. These go here. That's the first card. The second card is state districts. Great. So we did not get a reinforcement card. So state districts, all groups police squads advance into adjacent state districts. So these two are actually going to come back to the state district where they started. This is going to advance in this state district. They're not going to leave the occupation. So the police have scattered a little bit, giving us a little bit of a window of hope for sure. That's done. We're going to roll for the workers. Workers get a unit there. Please give me at least 1-4, a 3-3-5. Don't show off, kids. So the workers are going to come in here with the 3. They're going to defeat the police van. Morale goes down with a 5. And then I think they attend a meeting. Or we could build a barricade. I mean, one barricade's not going to do much for us right now. Or I could just get another cube on the board with the 3. Try to work our way up to 9. So we'll just do that because I'm about to lose a bunch of. I'm losing cubes for. I lost a cube for purple. I'm about to lose 2 cubes for green. So that's less than ideal. But everyone's there in the plaza, so we're all going to get some benefits. Hopefully, they are good ones. We go to sunrise. When sun rises, we resolve the reaction card. All right, first thing it says, vans are repaired and police attack. These police here are going to send these guys home and defeat this occupation. Again, there's no increase in morale when they defeat an occupation. That would be bananas. Vans are repaired. Locate the police van station in the lowest ID. That is 14. Then locate the district with the highest police ID. Come on. I just had this. Are you kidding me? Move it along following the shortest path. That's really unfortunate. Highest ID. It is the one thing about going to the Plaza 22 as opposed to 20 or 21. It's like it gets you just a target for more of these stupid things. So it's going to be the shortest path is 1, 2, or 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, or 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The tiebreaker 4 or 21. Tiebreaker priority is highest ID. So it is going to go this way, which knocks out this barricade. 1, 2, 3, 4. There's no other barricades, and then it ends there. It poops out a plaza, and that's fine. I can't liberate that district, I'm pretty sure, because there is a police there. Even though I have 8, so it's going to delay that a little bit. But it's another police van I'm going to have to defeat, which has not been. No police squads or vans. Yeah, so that it blocked me up from being able to do that. Once you start liberating things, like there will be higher numbers everywhere, but unfortunately we've just gotten stuck in a bad pattern this game, and that's a strategy thing too. It's just not playing super well. Check meeting attendance, there is none. Check win conditions, there is none. Check police morale, and this advances twice, which is super problematic. Checking the things. No morale game for the police finally. About time, says Jester. Good evening, campers, prisoners, students, neighbors. What is this? Some bad CBS show. Components are solid, says Zach. Thank you, Zach. All right. My strategy has not been solid. Like the components, solid. But we've got problems. This is going to the neighbors. Take 3 in trying to clear out the plaza, right? I mean, at least we're all there. That's quote me on that. We're getting 2 of these police op cards. 1. All groups of police squads advance into districts. Did we had 3 heavy reinforcements? I guess we have 1, 2. Oh, they're the bottom 2 cards of the deck. Okay, never mind. So all police into the advanced district with the highest police ID. So district patrols. That was that. So these guys are going to go from 21 into 15. These guys go from 13 into 20. And then these guys go from 12 into 9. And then there's 2 here, so one of them's going to go from 14 into 15. 15 is a popular place to be. We'll move all these over. We're done. And heavy reinforcements. Act surprise. Police morale goes up. We're going to deploy the police van. Each police van deploys a police squad. So 1, 2, and 3. And then we're putting this van in the district with the highest police ID that has at least 1 officer, but no van. So that's a 2, that's a 1, that's a 14, that's a 13. This is a 20. We're going to get the police van here. Right? There's nothing higher than 20 because 21 already has a police van. All right. We know that's heavy reinforcements, so that's fun. We're going to go to the neighbor's turn. Neighbors are going to put out one of their dudes there. Now, we could string liberations. If there's a chance we can liberate the plaza, and then so we can do these in whatever order we want, and then kind of liberate the polluted slum and try to move over that way. But things are looking a little bleak in this land that we're in right now. So 1, 2, 6. I used it a 6 to send him home. We're about to get another one, and we already have one there. So that's a thing. With the 1 and the 2, I'm going to build some barricades. I'll build barricade there, and we'll build a barricade I'll just fully cordon it off from that angle. It's fine. So that's done. The neighbors are finished. We go to the prisoners. We're going to get a police ops card, and then we're going to have to shuffle another one. So heavy reinforcements, axe surprised. We're going to +1 police morale, so that's up to brutal. 1, 2, 3, and 4. We're shuffling these to draw one more card. Do you draw? I wonder if you draw the numbers to draw and then carry them out. I think I'm supposed to draw, shuffle. I think I draw the 1, which I know is heavy reinforcements, which I've already done. And then I think you draw the cards at once, if I'm reading this right. So since it was empty, I would have to, because it says draw and then resolve them one at a time. So I think that's correct. So I actually get a little bit lucky that heavy reinforcements doesn't end up back in there. And then I draw another card on top of that. So I it's not totally specified, but this feels right. And because again, it says draw 1 to 3 and then resolve them one at a time. Moving into prisoners districts. These guys stay. 3 of these guys go here because that's adjacent. A bundle of these guys go over here because that's adjacent. And that's all the movement there is. So these guys come over. We're going to now put a block on the board in our starting faction, or starting occupation, rolling 4 dice. Make them high, baby. All right, 5, 5, 5, 6. So we're kicking at 2 of these guys and injuring the van. And that gives me a 1 left. Remember, if I had rolled 4 high numbers, it wouldn't matter because, again, I only had 3 blocks there, so I would only be able to do 3 attacks anyway. But I do like the way that played out. And then with the 1, I could put another block on that occupation. I could go to a meeting because I'm going to need to start doing that for sure. So I'll just send these 3 guys to the meeting area, and we'll have to make that work. I've not defeated the van yet. The police morale is still at brutal, which is quite brutal. It's accurate statement. Oh, I could actually move these guys in here, and hopefully I could chain some liberations this turn because I'm definitely running out of time, big time. So we go to the workers. So no meetings, just trying to liberate a bunch of stuff at this point. Drawing 2 police ops cards. The first one is heavy reinforcements, +1 police morale. So we're at deadly now, so that's super fun. And then we drop 3. Drop a cube each place where there's a van. I only have 3 cubes. The priority is highest. So I am going to get 1 there, 1 there, and 1 there. So I now need 2 successful attack rolls to take out that sucker. Again, this police van doesn't get 1 because, again, the priority is highest, but all the police are on the board, and that's fine. And squad movement into state districts. These 2 are going to come back here. These 2 are going to come, I don't know. These 700 are going to go here. That's when you have the strategic repositioning card, like this, that will matter. These 3 are going to go here. Remember, this 1 won't move because he was solitary at the beginning of the movement. I do wish that was a little bit clarified in the rules, but that's the only reasonable interpretation I can come up with. And now we have a bunch of police guys just stuck in the interior ministry, like, what's going on? So again, giving us a little bit of a window of hope. We're going to add a cube to our starting location, rolling 4 dice because I have that many units on the board, and hopefully I get at least 2 4s. I got a 2, a 2, a 5, and a 6. Defeating him, defeating that van, police morale down. All right, so that was the 5 and a 6. Now with the 2 and the 2, I already have 4 there, or 8 there, 8 there. I think that's a good spot for me, for sure. I'm gonna pop out a dude there. Is there any place I can build an occupation? Financial district is looking a little bit vulnerable, which is nice. Pop out a dude there. Metro is on lockdown again. That was 2 in a row, right? Yeah. So that was with the 2, and now I have 1 more action. I can go to a meeting with this guy, which makes some sense. I'll go to 1 meeting. Still have not gotten any loot. So let me talk about loot. Every time you're on a thing that has a shopping cart, I can spend a number equal to that district to burn the shopping cart, and then that allows me to. So I loot once, I take 1 card from the loot deck, that's it. The other thing you can do is I can just place graffiti. When I place graffiti, then I have these mutual aid centers, and I can spend it at a mutual aid center to draw 1 loot card for each graffiti in or adjacent to that mutual aid center. And then it allows me to, I think I keep up to 2 cards, this card, the other, so that you can like basically kind of go through the loot deck quicker and make sure you get what you want. The benefit of not actually burning down any of the loot centers, which I normally would have at this point, this game's been a little bit weird from the last time I played it. When you burn it down, when you then liberate the district, it stays burned. Like you can never get loot out of that. If you don't burn it down, when you start liberating districts, the graffiti spots will automatically appear, which will make your mutual aid centers a lot stronger. So there's a little bit of a give and take to that for sure. So that is that. We're going to go to the student's turn. We're drawing 2 cards. And hopefully, I mean, I don't know. We're in trouble. All right, district patrols. All groups of police squads advance into adjacent districts with the highest ID. And we've cleared out the police from this area. I mean, painstakingly. These two of these guys are going to come here. Two of these guys are going to go into 20. One of these guys is going to go into 17. And then we have the gaggle of gaggle of whiteness over here is all going to move into 21. The gaggle of whiteness. All right, these guys come here and here and here. Again, doing that where I have like the ones I haven't moved on the left, the ones I haven't moved on the right has proved very helpful for me. I would definitely recommend someone define your own system. That's going to help you keep on top of this. Heavy reinforcements, of course. Police morale goes up. Each squad produces 1. The tiebreaker is priority highest. So that is going to be 21 is the highest. That gets another one because we needed more police there, clearly. Now we deploy a van. We're deploying it into the highest district that has at least one thing, but not a police van. So 2, 4, 10, 14, 13, 17, 12. 17 is the winner. We get a police van down there. Definitely want to get that morale down. I don't see a way I can liberate a third district, so we're going to have this guy goes here. I'm rolling 3 dice because that is only my 4th student on the board. I roll a 1, a 5, and a 6. So I'm just going to go 1, defeat, and place this. It's not going to last for long, but at least we get that morale down. Done. We go to here. That's the end of the round. We go to the reaction card. Vans are repaired and police attack. Police are not attacking anywhere this round. Locate the police van station on the lowest ID. So 21, 15, 20, and 17. So 15. And then move it to the state district with the highest police ID. Move that van, blah, blah, blah. So highest state district is going to be 12, 13. It's already there. Move that van. Locate the van. The state district with the highest police ID, which is where it is. So it's in the lowest ID district. It's basically moving exactly where it is, so it doesn't move at all, and it deploys 1 squad. Done. We're going to get to liberate some districts, guys. Be excited! Yes! All right, so first we have to liberate the plaza. We're going to liberate that, taking this off, flipping this over. All the cubes stay. The occupation stays. Everyone's excited. And we're going to have to decide separately for each of our factions how we want to make this work. So, anti-capitalist march. A rowdy breakaway march heads off into the night, sending fireworks into the air and redecorating the city as it moves. Each liberating faction must choose. All 4 factions are there, so I get to choose separately for each faction. With the police focused on the march, hang back and see what opportunities arise. Everyone looks poised to attack. Follow the crowd to see where it goes. Move 1 block from this district to a district with at least 1 police squad. Yes. I think I want to do that. I'm going to move 1 from each of them here and try to set things up that I could start taking over the world this way. So we all did B. -1 police morale. Since it was a public district, the tank goes back 1 space. And police retreat from the barrage, paint bombs, and rocks defeat 1 squad in this district. So each faction would be able to do that. So we defeated all 3 of these guys. Again, we're trying to claim our territory and move ourselves this way. So that was good. That's out. And now, since that's liberated, now we can liberate a non-public district that's adjacent to it. So that lets us liberate this. So you can see how you can chain that. Now it has to go back in the same direction. So which is going to be this way. You'll see we have graffiti there. So if I put a mutual aid center like here that would count toward being able to get some cubes or get some loot. So I got to take this off, which I forgot to do. 8 guys here. Intersection bonfires. A dumpster full of cardboard provides everything the crowd needs to start a bonfire. An intersection, flames like the heavens that people rejoice. Each liberating faction must choose: A, we can join in the revelry, or B, find out if barricades look extra cool when they're on fire. Move one from block. Move 1 block from district to a police to district adjacent to police. That I don't hate. District adjacent to police, and that indicates there's going to be some kind of barrier there. Setting up barricades is honestly not terrible because this is the highest district ID, and clearly that is going to make it a big target for a while. I'm assuming the revelry will give me some loot though, so that's loot can be really, really helpful. I mean, I'm essentially now. We got to see what that district, the meeting attendance does. I'm gonna move this guy and this guy here, and this guy here, adjacent to police. Those police aren't doing anything. I'll move these 2 here. I'll leave 2 there. So the students and the neighbors will join in the revelry. The prisoners and the workers will move there because, again, hopefully these condition cards, like if one of them's Supermax Prison, if one of them's Global Shipping and Receiving, we can just liberate those as part of our meeting our conditions. So I'll do join in the revelry first. So the students have joined in the revelry. What happens? -1 police morale, so we're almost back to 1, believe it or not. Between songs and ecstatic movements, you and everyone around you shore up your defenses. Place 1 barricade around this. Oh, man. I should have moved everybody. I definitely should have moved everybody. All right, so place 1 barricade around this district. And this one says place 3 barricades. The other, so B, they chose B. Pallets and dumpsters alike are soon throwing up flames and fire. The crowd rejoices and the police look on in fear. Build 3 barricades around that district. Yeah, the revelry I was hoping was actually, let me do this just to be safe. The referee I was hoping was loot. It obviously was not. So I built 2 barricades around this district because I left both the students and the neighbors there. I built 6 barricades around this district because I moved both the prisoners and the workers there. They were adjacent to police. If I moved these guys there, that could have been helpful. Just set up like a lot of barricades. Remember, this cannot be passable. The police cannot get from there to there because you have, well, it's stopped from both sides, which is super nice. But we are running out of time in this game, believe it or not, because that's going to go down 2 again, which gives us a very, very tight window. The next thing we're going to do is check meeting attendance. I have 1 guy at a meeting. When they leave the meeting, they can go to anywhere where you have a home, I think. Anywhere we have an occupation, I think. Check meeting attendance, printed blocks. Follow each meeting. Each faction which always blocks for anyone district where it has built an occupation. We'll go over there, which will be super good. Right, so I had 1 guy in a meeting. There's only 1 revealed condition card, so I get to pull 1 card off. Liberate the international airport. It's another state district. That's that's rough. That's not great because that's over here. I just don't see how I liberate these state districts with such a heavy police presence. We're gonna have to continue to go to meetings and hopefully find a better way. So, no win conditions. This moves down 2, so we have 5 rounds left, maybe less, depending on what I can do with that morale. The prisoners thing comes, the starting flame comes up to the prisoners. So we've gone 4 full rounds. Say 1, 1, 1, 2, 1, 2. Yeah, back 1. Not the most successful campaign so far, but maybe we can get pretty lucky. Checking the things. You have a great holiday, Greg, and chat. See you guys later. Thank you, Mike. Let's make this happen. So we're pulling 2 police ops guards. Remember, all 4 police fans are on the board. We've defeated 3 police fans, all in the same area. Squad movement. Squads are advancing into neighbors' districts. So 2 are going to go here. Solo guys don't move. And these guys aren't adjacent to anything, so that's fine. Done. Student districts. This one guy is going to move here. Solo guys don't move. This is going to come back. And that's it. So we just have this one dude to deal with in our assembly hall. Done. The prisoners are going to place a thing here. I think it's realistic to try to liberate. I mean, one of these, we can try to liberate the junior college. We're gonna just have to get a lot more meeting attendance because meeting attendance has been rough. I'm rolling 4 dice, getting close to the place where I can almost start thinking about rolling 5. Actually, if I spend 1 die there, I can roll 5 next turn, which would be pretty helpful. So 1, 4, 4, 4 is not the roll of dreams by any means. I'm going to spend the 1 to get a cube on here. Yeah, I think if I try to liberate the Supermax prison, that could be good. I'll spend the 4 to get these guys here. So that's 6 things already there. I'll spend the 4 to attend the meeting. We're going to obviously need a lot more conditions cards. I'm just trying to figure out the math of all this. Maybe I just try to liberate more. 1, 4, 4, 6. Yeah, I could do that. I can move 2 here with this 4. So if I gotta try to get 12 here and 10 here, I like that math. And with the last 4, I can build a barricade here. Yeah, I still think that makes sense. Great. I'll build a barricade there. Done. Take these 2 dice back. We're getting 2 police ops cards for the workers. Might be able to get down to timid status again, which would be pretty crazy. We'll see. Squad movement into workers districts. Again, these squads, we've been able to get the police kind of away from us, which has been very, very helpful. There are no police squads adjacent to workers districts, so that's just a dud of a card. And then public districts. So public districts, again, these are a bunch of solitaire. There's a bunch of guys here. These 3 are going to move here, and that's all of the police movement. So they've really slowed their roll a little bit. I'm going to put a worker there because the starting district. I rolled 4 dice. I'm going to also roll 5 dice for the workers next round, which makes me happy. A 1, 4, 5, 1. I'm going to spend a 1 to get a worker. Oh, that would be great. So I'm going to get a worker here. I'm going to spend the 1 to move all 4 of these guys here. I'm going to spend the 4. Oh, I can't build a thing there. Shoot. I was planning to build, but that's a student district. But the students could probably build there, but that'd be good for morale. So I have 6 units there. I'm going to spend a 4. I have 10 units there, which will liberate that. Hopefully the students can build there. I'm going to use this 4 to move this guy here. If I rolled 1, 6, I might have actually gone up there. Let me think about this. He was here. These 3 were here. This wasn't in play yet. I had a 1, 1, 4, 5. I like this a little bit more. I'm going to spend the 1 to get these guys. If I'm trying to liberate 2 things, I'm running into a math problem. Thinking about I can go there, spend the 1 and the 5, kick them out. I really just needed the 6. This is where like having a loot with the Molotov cocktail could have been helpful. I think I have to go back to what I was doing. So 1, 1, 4. Actually, 4. 4. One of those. And I have a 5. I'll build another barricade. All right. So I just need to get 5 more units in there. Try to save this district. If I don't, it's not a huge deal. I will have 4 dice with the students, which is nice. Let's see what's going on. Police ops. Police morale is probably going up. I'm assuming. Commercial districts. Ooh, uh-oh. Giant stack of police are going right there. That's a little scary. And then these guys are not adjacent to a commercial district. The rest of them are all solo guys. So that's done. And then here, light reinforcements plus 1 police morale. And each police squad gets 1. The priority is lowest. So 21, 15, 20, and 17. 15 is the lowest. So we got 1 guy there, 1 guy there, and 1 guy there. The students are going to add a dude in their starting location, which is amazing. It's still around. That does give me 5 cubes on the board, so we're rolling 4 dice. A 1, 1, 2, 4. With the 4, I'm going to kick out this. Did not roll the 5 I needed, so I can't build, but we can liberate. I'm going to, with this 1, I'm going to move these guys here. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I need to get 3 more in there. Obviously, that's a lot of police there. I'll just use the 1 to put a barricade here, and I'll put a 1 to put the 2 to put a barricade there. Done. This goes over here. We're going to draw 2 more. First is district patrols. All groups of district patrols advance to adjacent district with the highest police ID. That worked out well for me. These guys are all going to come back to 21. And once that's liberated, it will get super high. So 1 stays. Out of the 2 guys here, this guy goes to 15. Out of the 3 guys here, this guy goes to 17. And out of the 2 guys here, this guy goes to 20. Everything's moved. We're going to shift these over. And paramilitary raids. Glad they were in that order, not the other way. +1 police morale, so it's up to brutal again. Police advance into adjacent things with... That's gross. This guy's going to go here. It's 1. And that's it. The rest of these are not adjacent to blocks. So I would lose that block. They would still need another police officer to attack the occupation. So that's important to remember. They only attack. Go to police attacks. Nope. Resolve. They attack blocks before occupations. Yeah, the occupation would survive that, but that's, again, not ideal. So that was, we're on the neighbor's turn, right? Yeah. So the neighbors are going to deploy 1 thing here in their starting thing. And they only have 5 cubes left over there, so they're going to roll 4 dice. And we have a 3, 3, 5, 6. That I like. So we have 9 there. I need to get 3 more in there. So that's going to be 1 and 2 dice worth of movement to do that. So we have 12 there, which is great. And then I'm going to move these guys. Oh, shoot. The metro's open. Oh, man. I thought I'd be able to get into there, but that's blocked. That's not ideal. But I can move these guys here. I could do a meeting. No. Let me take advantage of that 6. I'm going to move here and then defeat this guy so I can kind of start claiming that territory. So no meetings, but we should be able to liberate 2 more. Unfortunately, this is going down 2 again. So that's going to be kind of, I don't see how we're going to have enough turns to make this happen. Like, these conditions have not been our friend by any means. So that's the end of the round. We get the reaction card. Public districts. Vans are repaired. Police attack. This police officer is going to defeat that block, but there's only 1 there, so the occupation survives. Locate the police van stationed at the lowest police ID. That's 15. Move it to the public district with the lowest police ID. Oh, interesting. The public district with the lowest police ID. That's 20. So it's going to go 1, 2. There's another van already there. It backs up. It poops out a police officer. And that's that. So that would have been helpful earlier. I had highest public ID, highest police ID. It was a rough first 3 rounds. All right. Now what? We're going to liberate districts. So we're going to liberate this district. The Supermax prison is totally liberated. Makes the criminal defense attorney and me feel all warm and fuzzy about that. This goes here. All right. At the cusp of dawn, someone with a police scanner reports that the police are planning to attack. This is the moment you've been getting ready for, nothing to do but wait and prepare defenses. That's our first option is A. Or B, you know where they're stationed. You could keep them from moving out in the first place, move 1 block from this district to a district adjacent to police. Yeah, I think I wanna ugh. I wonder if I can move to a district with police, but I think I need to really cordon off this privatized university more, so I'm gonna move one from each of these guys. I already have a bunch of defenses up there. Let me go here. It's adjacent to police, and I think that makes sense. So all 4 factions did B. -1 to police morale. Heavy fencing is torn down and moved to the streets while the police just beyond shout and demonstration build 3 barricades around the district. So I can build a total of 12 barricades around this district. Obviously, I'm filled up. So the privatized university, the Ivory Gates is now the barricaded tower, apparently. But if I can get the right meeting cards, liberating this and then this next turn, liberating all of the 6s does give me a glimmer of hope here. So again, these I'm gonna have to spend some dice and just get a bunch of these dudes onto a meeting. It would need 5 on there to get 2 more gold cards next turn. Problem is, I haven't been able to get back the timid in a while, so we've been stuck looking at 2 of these. But we've been stuck having the countdown tank go down 2 instead of 1 every turn, and that's not a good recipe. Uh-oh. I only had 9 there. That's I needed 10 there. I would not have defeated this guy. I had a 5 and a 6. I would have moved. And I thought I had 10 there. Math is hard. I could have moved and I could have prepared a barricade here. Just done 2 barricades there. That's gonna make a lot more sense than not liberating this. So sorry about that. Math is hard, guys. But now I have 10 there. So most of my turn with green, I moved, put 2 barricades up. I could have looted, but I don't think that makes sense at this point since I'm about to flip it. So this would have gone here. We have notice the difficulty level of things when they're liberated goes down. It just makes it easier for you to attack the police. It also makes it easier for you to build occupations. We're going to take this night actions. Now is the last chance to make a move before sunrise. So it's a little unfortunate I didn't roll a 5 with the students because that would have moved that down 1 because I would have built an occupation there. But each liberating faction must choose, look for large objects that block the street, protect this liberated district. I mean, it's already blocked. Or share your resources with a group of street fighters settling off to clash with the police. Discard 1 Molotov's card. I do not have a Molotov's card, so I'm going to lose 1 police morale, which I did. Mass comrades make coffee. So I had to choose option A. Mass comrades make coffee around a small fire, protected by the breeze, by an opposing new barricade. Build 1 barricade around this district. So we're going to get 4 more barricades around here. So again, you see, like, once you start liberating stuff, these barricades start popping up like crazy. This moves here. I did not do meeting attendance. This moves down to 3. So running out of time for sure. Workers are going to go. We get 2 police ops cards. I think I want to liberate here and maybe there and start making moves in the financial district. Remember, this is adjacent. I don't know why. Yeah, we don't. Putting down cards underneath the highways is silly. The highways are never liberated. They just are what they are. They're highways, kids. All right. Next, Strategic rotation. So this is going to be big for them. They're going to get a lot of their cubes back into the staging area because they had so many up just sitting and wasting time in this park. So that's done. Number one. And heavy reinforcements, +1 police morale. And now we get 1, 2, 3, and 4. All the vans are on the board, so we don't have to worry about the rest of that card. The workers are going to put their last cube on the board. And now we're rolling 5 dice. 5 dice is good. It's more than 4. Math. We rolled a 1, a 3, a 4, a 5, and a 6. With the 1, I'm going to move here. With the 6, I'm going to defeat this dude. With the 3, I can use anything, remember. I'm going to build something in the financial... maybe I don't want to do that. Maybe I save that for someone else, but I could get the morale down. See what's going on. Build one barricade. I can swap an occupation from a different faction. I think that makes sense. Yeah, I'll build this here. That morale goes down. Remember, I can use any die for that. I have 2 more dice. I'm going to spend the 4 to move all these guys into here. Again, I'm trying to get 6 there. Or 12 there. And that's 7. And then I have a 5. Oh, we could also liberate this. It's only going to be 6. With a 5, I'll just send this dude to a meeting. Could I liberate this, this, and this? And still do meetings? That's going to be tight. That is going to be tight. No Molotov, no loot. And if I do figure out how many workers I have on the board right now, I would need 12, 24, 30. I haven't got any loot from these liberation cards, which is unfortunate. Yeah, I'm not going to have enough. I had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I could move. There were 5 there. Yeah, because I had exactly 11. Because I had 9 until I added the greens. I could liberate the privatized university. Might make more sense. Gets me up to this public district over here. And if I do that and the commercial district there, that could really make that super strong. Or we try to liberate the financial district so that I can liberate the projects. This guy was here, I think. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, I moved 1 of each. All right, I'm going to move this guy here. That gets me up to 10. And then I have 1 more die. I'll send these dudes to the meeting. Let's get some more things. I think that makes more sense, and it gives me more options to spread out. Because again, we have goals for like adjacency. We have goals for, we still have this telecom network. Maybe we actually try to blitz these police vans over here It's a heavily fortified area. I can always do the global shipping thing another turn. I think that's a little bit better. We have a police there. If we build on the student's turn, that would make some sense as well. So, last two police ops cards. We are down to alert because we were up at bold because of the heavy reinforcements. Went down to alert because I built there. Metro is open for what it's worth. Police morale goes up. All police fans deploy a dude. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Done. Never getting down to timid again. Snatch squads, police morale goes up. All groups, police squads advance into units in adjacent districts with blocks. So these guys are trying to advance, but I have 3 barricades there. So instead of them advancing, all the barricades just go away. Nope, they can't advance. My bad. Never mind. There's no adjacency there because that. So I basically built those for no reason because I could. None of these are no police squads that have more than 1 are adjacent to blocks. We've really been able to kind of clear out the top half of the board very, very nicely, which has been crazy considering where this started. I'm still having a problem with the police morale though, because if I don't get that down quick, I have 2 more turns, and that's not enough. I'm going to put this dude on the board here. That's 3, 6, 9, 11. So we're 1 away. I'm rolling 4 dice. Probably want to get that guy out of there. Maybe shore up the underfunded high school. So I'm going to spend the 1 to get a worker here. The 4 to boot this guy out. The 4 to build this here. Again, it's a 4 now because it was liberated. That goes down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I need 1 more in there. And I have a 6. I'll move this guy here. That's good. Police morale is bold, right? Because they just shuffled 2. Yeah. Because it was alert, went up to brutal, back down to bold. If I can liberate, I could potentially build here or here with the next 2 units. Get some more things out. I just think we're going to be 1 round shy of really having a shot. Oh, the worker started this. No, the prisoner started this. No, the worker started this. Yeah, so this is the students. This goes to the neighbors. I was just moving the wrong thing. Worker started this because it was 1st round, 2nd round, 3rd round, 4th round, 5th round. Then we went back up because we defeated the, we liberated the public district. Telecom, airport, man, those are just 2 really awful, very unhelpful, very unhelpful condition cards. All right, police ops. Let me check the chat. Jester, I always see you're a bad boy rescuing all the prisoners first. Nope, just a defense attorney. All right, this goes up. The priority is lowest. The lowest is going to get the last police squad waiting on this thing. So 17. This is on 4, so that will go there. How the heck did I get the 4? Oh, yeah, I forget how they got the 4. Oh, because it went to 20 and then backed up. That makes sense. And last, snatch squads, police morale's up to deadly. All groups advance to things with squads. There are no adjacencies. Again, the police are kind of like they get sequestered in a ways if you're kind of playing this right, and as you start taking over the board in a way that's really kind of cool and thematic, right? You're like, why aren't the police better? Well, I have thoughts. This is gonna go here. We're gonna roll 4 dice. I definitely want to build on the projects. I think that's gonna make the most sense, and then maybe get a bunch of units there. I need to get 6, which between the neighbors, and the prisoners should be doable. And then we'll just liberate there and kind of move around. So 1, 4, 4, 6. I'm going to use the 1 to move here. I'm going to use one of the 6s to build. That reduces this. We're going to use the 4 to move 2 things here. Yeah, there's 12 there, so that's going to flip. And I think we get 2 more guys on the meeting. Yeah, because if I can get 2 more of those out this turn, that'll really help see if I have any chance at all. So, done. We go to the prisoner's turn. Putting this here, getting 2 police ops cards. Moving into state districts. So this unit's going to move there. These guys are going to move here. These guys are going to go back to the telecoms hub, which is, again, making that less and less likely I'm going to be able to overtake that. The police all come over after they've moved. So we have Interior Ministry now does have a straight shot into there, so that's a problem. And public districts, well, forget that. They're all going to go back here. These guys will stay there. These guys will actually come up here now because there is adjacency because of the highway. They move over. So we have 2 giant groups of police in the public districts, and everything else is just a solo guy. Done. Morale did not go up, which is super helpful. We're going to place a worker here. I'm going to roll 5 dice. A 1, 1, 4, 3, 6. I don't know, something like that. Detention center. Huh. Tempted to do the immigrant detention center now. It is right next to that guy, though. But it could get me back to timid. I think I have to go for it. So I'm going to spend the 1 to move all these guys in here. I'm going to spend this. I don't know what that was, but I'll just use that. I flipped over a die. It's not going to matter. I'll use this guy. I'll use this 1 to move these guys in here. I'll use the 4 to send this guy home into the staging area. I'll use the 6 to build this. Police morale goes down. And I'll use the 3 to send one of these guys to a meeting. All right. Not terrible. We'll see how this plays out. Obviously, this is this public district right next to the immigration center is a little scary, but we're definitely making some headway down into this corner. We're going to get the reaction card. This is the 6th turn, so this is the Last reaction card we have seen. If I rememorize them, it could be helpful. Police are attacking, vans are repaired, nothing happens there. Locate the police van located in the lowest the ID, which is this one. Then locate the state district with the lowest police ID, which is this one. And it's going to move there. Perfect. This gets pooped out, and we're done. We're now going to liberate districts. When we liberate districts, we're going to go here first, a privatized university. This comes off. We're very center of the board is liberated. Like to see it. Circles in the bottom right. Circles in the bottom right. Starting district. We held on to that the whole game, which is absolutely nuts. So I'm putting these 12 cubes back here. And let's see what this says. General strike. Offices and stores across the city are shuttered as working people exercise their collective power and show who really controls the economy. Each liberating faction must choose. Go bring the word of the strike to nearby shops. Move 1 block from this district to a district with a shopping center. With numbers like these, we're unstoppable and go where we want. Move 1 block from this district to a district with at least 1 police squad. Oof. I mean, there is some idea of trying to take these guys out. There's a lot of there are a lot of police there though. Yikes. How many reinforcements have we done? Just the 1 heavy. Who's up first next turn? It is the students. I'm gonna move all 4 here and see if I can't create something, some synergies to get this public district under control, and then get down into the Telecom hub. I don't love my chances, but I think, desperate times, desperate measures right now. Seeing your numbers in the crowd's energy, riot cause break into an open runaway from your advance, kick out 2 police districts from that district, 2 police squads from the district, which is great. So I can move 8 of these guys out of here. So 2, 4, 6, and 8. Gotta like that. That's liberated that move down. We're now liberating this. It only requires 6. Now there's only 2 factions there instead of the 4 that I've been going with. These are now all graffiti spots, so that makes all 3 of these mutual aid centers very, very strong, which is great. So commercial district is liberated. I never looted anything. Chanting turns to wild cheers. The police stumble back to defensive positions. It feels like the momentum of the crowd can't be stopped. Each liberating faction must choose. Take this opportunity to reinforce nearby defenses. Move 1 block for this district to a district without police. Or the police have been caught off guard. It's time to go on the offensive. Move 1 district from this district to a district with at least 1 police squad. Ooh. I mean, why not? We're both going to go there. So we did B. Tear gas and rubber bullets are hastily fired in your direction, but it's too late. The police are quickly overwhelmed and flee. Kick out 2 police squads from that district. So these 2 guys are also out. So if I can get barricades there, that could really give me a path. Now we have these 2 police vans, but if I knock them out, that could really help with morale. And also this goes down to timid, which is super helpful. The detention center, did I forget to flip? Oh, I haven't done it. So I could do the public first anyway. Remember, I don't need the public. I can always flip. The detention center is going to need to be adjacent. But I think that's fine. Check meeting attendance. I could put these anywhere I have an occupation. So I could put these guys there. I could put these 2 guys here. And I could put these 2 guys here. We're going to get 2 condition cards, and hopefully I get a little bit luckier than I've been getting. One is 2 liberated popular districts, public. So I'd have to liberate this and put a prisoner occupation thing there. Or I could liberate this, put some other occupation, and then have them go over there and switch out the prisoner thing for their own, or 2 liberated districts adjacent to each other. The easiest one to be able to do that is going to be the students. Well, the students have already done that. So in theory, I could just say, all right, students have already done that. They have this district and district, they're adjacent. That's great. But still is not looking, still not exactly what I need to really pull this off. I was hoping for the Supermax prison. The financial district is going to be somewhat easy. Telecom district, network hub is possible. So we're going to definitely have to do some more meetings to get some more conditions. The tank goes down to 2. This advances to the students. Getting them to timid is amazing. Well, considering how this started, yeah, I'm pretty happy with that. I do think it's going to be time to start doing some loot actions. You know, I'm getting an extra number of dice rolls. I mean, we've liberated 6 districts already. So if I can liberate there, this is adjacent to that. So we can consider like, doing that and that. I'm obviously worried about this being a little bit of a problem, and I have a police van issue, so I'm going to have to defeat that to really, be able to start opening up the rest of my turn for sure. So police ops, only 1 card, heavy reinforcements. Police morale goes up. There are no more things I can deploy, and that's fine. The students are going to add a guy there. We're rolling 4 dice. And 3 4s would be very welcome. Ooh, a 3 4 6 6. Excellent. I'm going to move all these guys to here. Eight. Yeah, that makes sense. Move all these guys to here. And then I'm using the rest of my dice to just defeat the van. That goes down. And I already have 8 guys here to liberate the street market. And remember, the neighbors are next, and the neighbors are really good at building barricades. I could also consider trying to defeat that guy as well. So that was a very good roll with the students. Again, have not seen a loot card yet, which is a very strange way to play this game. Would not recommend. This is going to go there. We're pulling 1 police ops card, moving into workers districts. Oh, thank you very much. Get the heck out of my way. So those dudes go there. No one else moves. This is done. Morale didn't go up. That's a wonderful thing. We're adding this to this. We're going to roll 4 dice. Oh man, yeah. If I liberate orange, I'm just gonna need to get lucky. I could already start moving into this telecom district for sure. So a 4-4-5-5. I did not get any 6s, so defeating any of those guys is just not going to happen. But I can use a 4. Oh man. I don't know what I want to do. It's a good roll. It's not great. These guys can come here. This mutual aid center is actually not in the greatest spot. It hasn't flipped yet. I could move 10 guys there. I have 4 revealed conditions, so I will need 4 guys in a meeting in order to clear that off or open that up. A 6 would have been nice to kill that dude. I could spend a 5 and get 1 loot card. That's probably a waste of time. It doesn't make any sense to liberate stuff without having clear guidance at this point. And I could move 4 guys in there, use 2 dice, and just kick that guy out, but then I'm still dealing with this dude. If I try to liberate the detention center, that'll at least keep morale low. Or I just put them all in the meeting. Put them all in the meeting. Alright, I'll put them. There's already 8 there, which is crazy. I'm going to spend 2 dice to get these guys and this guy over here. Let's get another condition card. For sure. And then I'm going to put 3 barricades there with my last 2 dice. And hopefully the prisoners can come take care of those guys. I just need, 4 5s. Reasonable. It's a reasonable thing to hope for. All right, the prisoners are going to go. Police ops, light reinforcements, +1 morale. There are no more police things to reinforce. Putting this on the board, rolling 5 dice. A 1, 3, 5, 5. I'm going to move. Oh, that could work. I can get that in there this turn. I'm going to move with the 1 to here. With the 1 to here. With the 5, that becomes a 6 because the prisoners are going to defeat that guy. With this 5, I'm going to build a thing here because that's 2 public districts. I built an occupation, morale goes down. And then with the 3, I can build a barricade. Remember, public doesn't have to be adjacent, so I can actually flip that, and then that state district would be adjacent. So I could just use my last die to do a barricade there. And morale is still a 1. This comes down here. We're doing a police ops card for the workers. Heavy reinforcements. +1 police morale. All police squads deploy. I have to reshuffle these cards. I'm going to roll a die, see what's on top. Card 2 is on top. So the priority is lowest. So this is going to go on the police van in the lowest district. 15 is here. And then this police van is going to be deployed to the district with the highest police ID that only has police squads and not a van. So that's 14, which isn't bad. All right, we've definitely got the upper hand. I just don't think we have enough time to pull this off. We're deploying a unit. I have none. So all 5 of my worker blocks are on the board. I'm rolling 5 dice. I rolled a 2, 2, 2, 2, 3. It's really bad. So I'm going to use the 1, 2 to go here. And I can trace the district over here. So that's 12 guys there. I'm the worker, so I'm going to use another 2 to build a thing. I'll build this. So I'm at the telecom network. So I'm actually gonna have 3 of the 4 conditions met. I just need to get a condition for green. That means morale goes down because I built an occupation. I'm gonna be liberating 2 districts too, so the morale is gonna be very nice. I'm gonna use 2 dice to get 2 more barricades. Let's kind of keep this van contained. And then the last die, I'll draw some loot. Why not? Yeah, I don't hate that. So the last die, I'm going to draw some loot. So I'm going to go here, mutual aid center, draw 1 loot card per graffiti on or adjacent. There's 4 adjacent, so I can draw 4 cards and keep 2. So where are the loot cards? There's this whole part of the game called loot cards, guys. You should try them. They're fun. So first is paint. Kick out 1 police squad from a clash into an adjacent district. Does not require an action die. Other options are Molotov cocktail. Would use when taking an attack action to increase the value of an action die by 2. We have old tires. Build 2 barricades. Does not require an action die. Cannot be used by blocks in a clash. And Molotov cocktail +3. Use when taking attack action to increase the value of the action die by 3. I will take paint and a Molotov cocktail and discard the other 2. So I drew 4 because there's 4 graffiti. Oh, there's actually 5 graffiti because of that. Molotov cocktail 2. So it's because this is also adjacent. So there's 5 graffiti. I could look at all of them and then choose to discard the rest. That is that. And somehow I ended up with 12 districts there, which is 12 blocks there, which is absolutely crazy. Public, that, yeah, I'm gonna have 3. I just need to get very lucky with the green. Projects is possible. Gentrification zone is possible. I have 2 cards I really want to see. Potentially we can kind of reconfigure where we have occupations, but we'll see. So reaction card. Vans are repaired. Police attack. There are no police attacking. Locate the police van in the lowest ID. That is going to be 14. And it's going to go to the state jurisdiction with the lowest police ID. That is 13. Really? No, that's 12. Yeah, so 12 is still over there. So, did I... Oh, I think I... That must have been the highest ID, because 15 was the highest. 12, 13, 14, 15. I might have flubbed that earlier with the lowest. I think there was the highest state, which would have been 15. I might have confused that. So lowest police ID is 12. Right, because it went to the highest public. I can't remember if I did that right or not, but I hope I did it right. So this is going to the district with the lowest police ID, which is 12. We're going to find the shortest path is 1, 2, 3, 4. So it goes here. It gets stuck because these barricades go away. And now it just stays there. It deploys a squad. It can't. Remember, that occupation stays because the police fight first and then they move. So that's still alive. We're now going to liberate districts. I'm liberating the street market. This comes off. This flips. Circle goes to the top. That is immediately having 2 prisoner factions in public areas. So they are popular. Guerrilla Gardens. Residents are ripping up the... Yeah, there was 10 there. Residents are ripping up the concrete and have begun to transform a series of parking lots into a sprawling squatted garden and community gathering space. You can see what's available at the garden's tent. or join the assembly coordinating the garden and help build the long-term capacity of this community. Return 1 block from this district to your supply. I don't hate that. I will do that with orange and yellow, but not with the other two, because I don't have a lot of their cubes on the board. Remember, I can put a cube out every turn with orange and yellow. So, A is going to be the students and the neighbors. The students draw 1 loot card. They get Molotov cocktail +1. The neighbors get 1 loot card. They get furniture. Build 1 barricade. Does not require an action die. Cannot be used by blocks in the clash. And the prisoners get 3 loot cards. They get groceries, count as an extra block when liberating a district. Sound system, add 1 block to any of your mobs. Does not require an action die. Cannot be used by blocks in the clash. And tools, build an occupation or swap an existing occupation. Does not require an action die. Cannot be used by blocks in the clash. The workers get 3 cards because they also take a cube back. Soup, used during your turn to increase the value of an action die by 1, or used during liberation to count as an extra block in liberating a district. +3 in Molotov cocktail. And phones, relocate 1 block or mob to any district. Does not require an action die. Cannot be used by blocks in a clash. Excellent. Loot proving helpful, or could prove helpful for sure. So that's liberated. Now we have this is also liberated, which means yellow can put this here on the telecom network. Again, morale goes down twice. This is going to be really close, kids. It just all depends on what happens out of this meeting. Oh, the tank went back 1, 2, because that's a public district. So that's helpful. What do we have? Snake marches. The jubilant crowd breaks into a series of wild marches that wend their way through the city. Join a snake march headed towards a strip of corporate retail chains. Move 1 block from this district to a district with a shopping center. Or join a snake march headed towards one of your strongholds. Move 1 block from this district to one of your faction's districts. With a shopping center, I'll move them both here, because why not? So I went to a, well, I did faction district for prisoners, shopping district for the workers. So I'll do the workers first, which is A. Place 1 graffiti on this district and draw a loot card. So we place a graffiti. We draw a loot card for the workers. Wheat paste when placing graffiti to form. Use when placing graffiti to form 1 block in the district. That's not that helpful. And the prisoners, along the way you find pallets of dumpsters and bring them with you. Build 2 barricades around this district. I will build them there. Tank goes down 1. This moves over here. I forgot to do the meeting as well. So we have 4 revealed things. So it cost me 4 units. I could put these, return them to, I'll return them to my home district there. Actually, I'll return them here. Nah, that's not going to be that helpful. I'll return them to my home district there. I don't think there's any chance that liberating that's going to matter, but it might. Privatized university. Oh. Snap. Well, that's interesting, because what I can do is have them there. And if I, oh man, I could have them either place. What can I sub out? It's not much. I could try to sub that out, liberate those 2. And that'd be good. Yeah, I can't build there because it's orange. I can't build there because it's purple. So I'm trying to think if I can get adjacent. I have a project. So if I go to financial districts, if I sub that out, I mean, the other thing I could do now, I need a popular. That's not, that is not the card of dreams, kids. All right, this is going over here. If I get a 6, I do think subbing these guys out, we need to shore up the privatized university, clearly. Good thing is there's no police there. I can lose the underfunded high school. It's not a big deal. So drawing 1 card for police ops, light reinforcements, +1 morale. There's no more squads that can come in. I'm rolling. If I sub an occupation, does that count as lowering police morale? That's a good question. I'm glad I asked. Nighttime. Nope, it does not seem. Swapping occupation will not lower that morale. Well, this goes on the board here. I'm only rolling 4 dice instead of 5. Stop cheating, Greg. 6 is good. All right, I'm going to use I have 3, 3, 6, 6. I'm going to use the 3 to move all these guys here. Can I get 12 and 5? I have the loot too, which is pretty sick. 3. I'm going to do a 6 to sub this out to this. Because now they have adjacent if I can liberate both of those. But I would need 22 units in those 2 places. Remember, right now I have 8 there. This can count as an extra. I have that. I have a lot of cool things with the workers. Probably should build some barricades. I'll use the furniture to build 1 barricade. Oh, I'm out of barricades. Never mind. I'm very much out of barricades. I'll just put 1 barricade there. 2 actions left. Yeah, so with the furniture. 2 actions left. I just get my guys over there, I think. That does mean this is a little bit at risk, but again, there are no police nearby. I will use the 5 to move these guys here, and I'll use this last action to place a worker here. So I moved, I subbed, I moved, and then I used the assembly hall. So I have 9 there, 2 there, I need 8 more there, I need 3 more here, actually 1 less because of the can of soup. So I need 2 more there. We are drawing 2 cards because subbing out an occupation does not count as building an occupation, so morale is up. Pretty much just going for it this turn. So 2 cards. District patrols. These 2 are going to go to a place with a block. None of the police squads are adjacent to places with blocks, so we were able to kind of clear that out. So that's strong. And then strategic rotation. All but 5 of these guys are going back to the staging area, and same here. Oops. Earthquake. I think that's right. So, that's not terrible. The prisoners are going to put this dude here. They're rolling 5 dice. Build an occupation, add 1 block. Counts the groceries count as an extra block during liberation. So 5 dice. I'm going to use this 1 to get all these guys up here. So that's 2, 4, 6, 8. The groceries count as 1. So that's not enough. I can use this 3 to move these 2 guys here. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Oh, well. Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna be able to get the guys there. We'll just see how good it is. I will do the 8 center to draw 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, I'm not messing with more. I mean, I have 4 things that I could win with, so I'm just gonna go with it. So I moved. I'm gonna do mutual 8 center. I'm gonna draw 7 cards. From the loot deck. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I keep 2. Groceries is an extra block. Medkit, protect 1 block from being defeated by police. Relocate protected block to one of your occupations. I wonder if I could build. I mean, it's a little bit too late now, but I wonder if I can build barricades. Like, can I move barricades that are on the board? Because like, just the barricades have not been knocked out at all. Basic action. I'm sure it's somewhere in the rules if you're out of barricades. Yeah, 1 extra block's good. Protect the block from being blah blah. Groceries, 1 extra block. Yeah, I'll take the 2 groceries. And that's 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, I have between the groceries the prisoners have, I actually have both of those covered. So if I can liberate both of those, we would win in the in sunrise, whatever, sun something. So the 5 and the 6. Yeah, I wonder. I mean, it really does matter. I wonder if you can relocate barricades or not. It just doesn't say. It does not say. Sunrise. I know things are component limited. I just don't. Barricades, exchanging loot, build occupation. Oh, you can exchange loot cards with your neighbors. I did not know that. Makes sense. Resolve. Yeah, it doesn't really say. At least not quickly. I mean, I could try to go defeat that van, because, what else am I doing? I'll get morale down. Sure, I'm going to move here and injure. No, let me lock this van in with the last barricade I have. I think that makes the most sense. And then I have 1 more action. That is the lowest. Wow, that's definitely moving. I think condition. I just want to make sure conditions are fine, even if there's a. District control. Nope. Check win conditions. Where's the condition thing? Tune of the solo playthroughs as Greg looks on a rulebook. Win together. No, I don't want to semi co-op. Solving. It doesn't say. There are some weird ambiguities with this rulebook that still drive me nuts a little bit. So if I'm looking at meeting attendance, draw multiple conditions, check win conditions. If all factions have a condition that are placed, if you've completed it, there's no limit. Yeah, I would assume even if the police van enters there, because the thing is still there, yeah, as long as the occupation is on there, as long as it's not destroyed, I think I'm fine. So yeah, I don't see how this goes sideways magically. So I built that. I have one more thing. I will. I mean, I can literally get more loot cards. No, I think it's limit once a turn. I could do it on this one though. So 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Yeah, fine. I'll do it here. Getting 2 more loot. Molotov cocktail, umbrella, protect, groceries. I'll take those 2, and that's out. So again, I have this mutual aid center there, and there's that 1, there's 2, there's 3. Done. We're going to go to the workers' turn. We're drawing 2 police ops cards. First one, move into prisoners' districts. These 4 are going to move up here. That's all she wrote. And next, district patrols. All groups advance into the highest adjacent district. So we'll start with these guys. 21 is going to move into number 15. These 2 guys are going to go from 15 to 21. These 4 guys are going to move from 4 into 34. This is the worker's turn, right? That's fine. We still have plenty of blocks there to absorb those damage, any damage there, and then that's it. We'll slide these guys over. Done and done. That was 2. We're going to put a worker unit on the board. We're rolling 5 dice. One, 2, 3, 4, 4. Excellent turn, Greg. So with the 1, I'm going to move all these guys into here. With the 4 and the 4, I'm going to boot 2 out for each. So I'm not defeating them, I'm just booting them out. I have a 2 and a 3. The 2 and a 3, I don't have a mutual aid center. I have this one here. So 1, I could draw 2 cards with that mutual aid center. I could have left a worker there, done this first. You do need a worker there, I think. Maybe not. I think you need a worker there. I get a Molotov cocktail and a fire extinguisher. And I have the iPhones, move 1 block or mob anywhere. 6. I'll just relocate this guy here to make it super clear. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, I have a bunch of stuff. And then this last one, I'll just move this guy here because he wants to feel like he's part of something. Done. We go here, drawing 2 more cards. Paramilitary raids, +1 police morale. So it's up to bold. They're going to go where there are blocks. Oh, interdictions with occupations. I might have treated that as blocks before, but honestly, there's been such an overlap. Yeah, I might have treated that as blocks instead of occupations. I think there is one that is blocks, right? Am I making this up? Am I making this up? I think. No, snatch squads are blocks. That makes sense. Paramilitary raids is occupations. So these guys are going to come here. These guys are going to come here because that's not adjacent. And that's all she wrote. Come back to this side. This side. Next is commercial districts. Again, everything in an occupation stays. These guys are going to go into 1 or 2. Priority is highest, so they'll go into 2. And the guys, again, that are in occupations don't move. The students are going to place this on the board. They're rolling 4 dice instead of 5. A 1, 1, 2, 4. I'm going to use the 4 to kick 2 of those guys out. I'll use the 2 and the 2 to combine those to kick those 2 guys out. And then the 1 I will use to move this guy here because he feels left out. We get to the reaction card. Bands and police attack. They're going to destroy this occupation. That is it. Locate the police in the lowest ID, which is 6. He's going to go to the public district with the highest police ID, which is 34. With the shortest path is going to be 1, 2, and 3. That's fine. He poops out a police officer. And then we go to the rest of it. We're going to liberate this. I'm not going to read it all. This is liberated. There'd be some thing. I got some guys there. I do have, ended up with 13 there. And then we're going to liberate this. That means morale would have gone down twice. And I immediately can claim this because I have adjacent units, and we have succeeded. Yes, that was awesome. I thought we were starting over, dude. That was bad. These things were great too because, yeah, I could discard a groceries card to form a block. I could have moved things to a thing with a police district, and I could have basically moved those guys to a police district and destroyed a police van, which would reduce morale. Yeah, that really came together super nice. That was crazy. This looks weird because that is adjacent. The highway is adjacent to that state district. Did not think that was gonna be a good one for me early, but ended up, yeah, 4 of the first 5 cards I was able to do, and that makes a huge difference, man. Like, so let's look at the rest of the condition cards. Like, what would have been good for me? Yeah, the gentrifying residential zone would have meant all the energy I did with all this. I could have just come here, defeated this police van, liberated that. That would have been a lot easier. The global shipping and receiving center is over here. I could have done that at any time except the telecom network. Interior ministry is over here. That would have been hard for sure. Financial district already liberated 2 of your own districts. That would have been super easy with green. Now the thing with green, I would have had to liberate that before I liberated that. So in some ways, this would have been just as hard as, you know, switching them to privatized university and then doing the adjacency there, and supermax prison, which obviously I've had done for a while. But I really like this game at the max player count, and I think the overhead's not that bad. I would be reluctant to play it with less than the full 4. So, but this is a great game. Sorry, getting my head wrapped around rules. I just did not get a chance. It is Thanksgiving week. I have a lot going on personally, so I would have liked to have gotten a quick refresher done off camera. But you know, I felt pretty confident that, you know, the rules aren't that overwhelming. To get a couple of clarifications that I would just want to know is, you know, can I build a barricade by taking it for somewhere else and moving it there? That's the one. Question. And then there's a little bit of fuzziness. I think that was all legit. Where the conditions, it's like, well, this is bad. I could just move that up there. I just wish there was a line. Hey, you can move around the conditions freely, you know, as you want. But as soon, like, if I had picked a card that I had already kind of satisfied the condition, I immediately place a flag. So I do think there seems to be max flexibility. I doesn't seem to be, hey, if you place a flag, that flag is stuck there forever. Like, the conditions page could definitely have another half paragraph. There's no limit. Page 17 for placing flag. Maybe it's there. Oh, here we go. When playing fully cooperatively, you may not place your token on a card when another faction's token is already placed there. And anytime during your turn. So basically during the student's turn, I switched my thing, and then when that flipped, since I already immediately met the condition, I could put it out. At the moment you complete the condition on the condition card, you may place your condition token on that completed card. You may not place your token in a car when another faction token is there. At any time you're turn, you may place your token if you completed it. It's objectives, and it does not already have a token on it. Oh, so technically, yeah, I'm not doing that. It feels like a waste of time. Technically, I didn't win yet. Technically, I'd have to play 3 more rounds. I would have to go to the prisoner's turn, draw a card, play their turn out, worker's turn, draw a card, play it out. Remember, the countdown tank goes down 1 because we're at timid. Um, student's turn, draw 1, and then when the neighbor's turn, then since I have those 2 liberated districts, I could just place that there. I mean, we're only drawing neighbors districts, one of them mattered, student districts, one of them mattered, heavy reinforcements would have meant we're drawing 2, still one of them mattered. We draw another card, like none of that would have mattered. I find that a little snatch squads, yeah, because it's not like they're attacking until I would have definitely been able to do before they attacked, and it's not like any of these things were going away. I'd already gotten the occupations done, so that's probably a house rule I would recommend. I can't see why. And anytime during your turn, the moment you complete the objective of the conditions card. So that's also confusing too. So the moment I completed it was when that was liberated. So I think maybe I can do that then too. I don't know. It's one of the either I would have won anyway, just in a painstaking longer way, or since at the moment I completed it was when they were liberated. Because I mean, you could argue the moment you completed it is when you actually build the thing after it's liberated, but I think they're actually the other moment since they liberated. I've completed it, so that would be the moment I completed it. So I guess I could put it down there too. A little bit of clarification on that would be good for sure. But this was great, man. I really dig this game. I really do. And it's not a game that I would feature a lot. There's not a lot of variety. I think the challenge is really nice. I mean, on expert, like you're definitely going to have that tension, and then there is going to be a time every game where as you finally get some things that you can start liberating, you do kind of sequester the police in a narrower slice of the board, and then they're going to kind of struggle. There were definitely a couple of flips of cards though. I mean, there were times where I had a bunch of police here and they came back to the workers district. Now had they moved over here, well now I got a problem. But remember, I could spend dice and kind of keep booting them out. You get your barricades. The barricades stop all the police. When I started playing this originally, I thought barricades like defeated police, like 1 per, and then I realized that was broken and a little bit too easy. But just stopping them is often enough to make things happen. Um, oh, that's not even the public district with the highest ID. The public district with the highest ID is actually up there. And 1, 2, 3, 4. So that would have even been better for me because this dude would have left here, come here, and got stopped there, and then pooped out the highest public ID is there, not here. Yeah, so even better, even a more emphatic win. And also, I would have had these barricades back and would have made, you know, gutting through 3 turns to get to the neighbor's turn again. If I would have had to do that to get to their turn, would have made that even more of a guarantee. How's this game for replayability? Like, I don't think this is a game you'd want to play weekly, but I do think that this is one of those games that you can take out and you'll want to play, you know, a few times a year, and I think that's fine. I mean, I look at, um, the setup's not too onerous. The time of play is not awful. I mean, this was a longer playthrough, uh, just because of how like slow it started for me. But I think for the price point, you'll get it to the table enough to justify it. I mean, if you like the theme and if you like what's going on, and it's so different. It's like it's so ambitious in its setting. It's so, unapologetic in taking on some of the issues that it takes on, and that goes into, like, you read these cards and you really think about what's going on. And I live in Philly. Obviously there was a lot of have been a lot of protests here in recent years that have gotten some notoriety. Like, what's going on the ground, and how that's painted, by various outlets is there's some dissonance there. And I think really, like, this gets into the humanity of protest, the humanity of people involved in protest. And I think it does a really good job. Like, as like, there are co-ops where you have to work together, and there are co-ops where you kind of everyone like can alpha game. You do that, you do that, you do that, whatever. Um, or one person alpha games and tells everyone else what to do. Like, this one, like, you really have to get all the factions working together. You need those factions to work together to liberate every block. You need to really strategically plan out your next few turns, see where things are. And I think it's cool. I mean, there is enough of the puzzle that's going to be evolving. The goals obviously will also change. There's only 11 different conditions cards, so there's not a ton of ideas. I mean, if hey, privatized university is one of the 11 condition cards. Like, when you pick your starting factions, like, there was a reason why I starting faction on 3 of the 4 sixes. It also worked with where the police were, but there are things that you can do to kind of understand, like, hey, this will maximize my chance to win. But yeah, I definitely think, long-winded answer, uh, is the spin away thing. I definitely think there's a lot of good replayability here. And the police action does get varied, and there's definitely a couple games where all of a sudden you have like 20 police officers in like one spot, but then you have them regrouping, the strategic repositioning. I always wonder if there might not be room for a second strategic repositioning card, and maybe the card also does something else as like strategic repositioning card and an attack or something, because it is a nice like lull, but it also does mean that now the police are kind of restocked, and depending on where their vans are, they could be pouring a bunch of new things in. But yeah, I think the replay was fine. There's a little bit of fiddliness with the game. There's a little bit of like, yeah, again, a couple of times you're like, oh wait, that's the highest, like checking the numbers, but that's just going to come with familiarity with the game. That it just, the rules overhead isn't so bad. And I do think that the player aids in the back of the faction mats are excellent. I just wish they gave you another one, because if you're playing with 4 factions, it's like, you know, I want to see it. I mean, not that you really need to see. I mean, the abilities are really hard to forget, right? They're all thematic. Prisoners +1 in combat, hard to forget. Neighbors can build 2 barricades, great. The workers can build an occupation or swap with any action die. All right, that's thematic. That makes sense. So I definitely got a bit lucky that I rolled a 6 with the workers, but also with the neighbors, because that's what let me sub that out and really gave me the chance to win when I did. So, had I not done that, it might have been a different story. And that countdown tank is, I mean, vicious, man. Like, just getting this back to timid and keeping it there was super, super awesome in giving me a chance to win for sure. Jester, have you played any Vital Lacerda games? I just picked up On Mars, Lisboa the Gallerist, Combat AV, and Escape Plan. Have you played any of these? I played On Mars once. I I don't know. It was fine. There was a lot of like thematic disconnect for me. It's not a game I'm really interested in playing again. Um, it just felt like there's some of the rules and some of the ideas. I was like, maybe like it didn't grab me. I played Weather Machine once. I would play that again. Also, I find some of that very weird, but I like the mechanics a lot more, and I thought there was an interesting puzzle there that I found more engaging than the On Mars puzzle. I have not played Lisboa or Countdown AV or Escape Plan. I mean, they're not my kind of games, and I know that going in. My friend Brian has all of them, so occasionally I will play them because I'm curious. and I play it more for as a because I'm interested in seeing different kind of games and different ideas. But yeah, Lacerda and I don't think Lacerda and I ever be good friends. We're probably better friends than me and Cole Worley will ever be. That's for sure. I've really bounced very hard off his designs, and I don't know. I'm gonna play John Company at some point soon, and we'll see. But yeah, yeah, I Root and Pax Premier were both at the end of the day. I was like, I'm not enjoying this. I'm kind of done. So, um, that's really good to neat and good to hear. I came to try it out. I want to try Weather Machine for sure. Yeah, Weather Machine has a lot of cool things going on. Again, thematically, it's another what is happening? What are we doing? I don't fully grasp that, but I think there's some very interesting ideas. The one time I played, I basically tried to ignore a third of the game and picked a strategy that went with some bonus tiles I had, and learned about three-quarters of the way in that I made a very serious mistake in judgment. So I got walloped pretty good, but so I liked it though. I'm like, all right, so now you learn how to evaluate. Like, all right, these points aren't all that you think they're going to be. You need to have a more comprehensive strategy. So that's my one thing going in. Like, I don't necessarily love games that force you to do everything. On some degree, I kind of like games that allow you to, like, all right, if I tunnel vision this track, where does that get me? And like tunnel visioning in Weather Machine didn't get me very far, or at least as a first time player. Um, but there's also the other extreme of Great Western Trail where, like, if you were going to go engineer strategy, you have to go like all out if you're going to really have a chance to make that work. Um, so yeah, there's a balance there for sure. I just don't think I could justify the cost. I'll be able to play it solo if I'll only be able to play it solo. Yeah, it's Lacerda is not cheap, man. That's another reality, and those are big boxes for what they are, man. I, thematically, I just don't. I don't know. There's a lot. I mean, like, there are very few Euros. Like, I like Brass Birmingham. I think that's fine. There's something really nice about that puzzle, and it's tight, and you can get that done in a decently short amount of time with people who know what they're doing. Um, I like Garrison Trail, but like, for me, I'd still rather be fighting orcs or trying to liberate a city from you know police actors who are over who who are abusing their authority. How about that? That's a non that's one way of saying it that's hopefully less controversial. Why is this even controversial? That's another question altogether. The American culture wars are they're in a very interesting place in the history of the world for sure. Can you play Space Hulk Death Angel, the card game? I picked it up because it was on your list of 22 best games. I never played it, so I need to see it in action. Yeah, I have two playthroughs on the channel. I don't know if I ever played it live, and I've just like recently when I've taken that out to play it, I've been throwing in like all 12 of the Marines, and that's a crazy puzzle, man. And you're gonna grow to hate that die. It's freaking brutal. But for a small box game, it packs a lot, and the expansions look fine, but they're also like $100 each for like 10 cards. So I wouldn't recommend those. I am not picking those up. The game itself, for what it is expensive enough because it's so hard to find. But yeah, I do have two videos on the channel. I will probably loop back to it at some point. It's just hard to find the time. I don't know how much. Again, it's like this. It's like I love this game in a lot of ways. I don't think I'm gonna put it on the channel all that much because it's gonna be a sameness from video to video, more so than with like Mage Knight or Spirit Island or Gaia or Uprising, um, Clatspire, Too Many Bones. Right? You have so much variety in those games. It's a little bit different. Space Hulk, like, these are the Marines. These are what they do. You know, can you get lucky enough to pull it off? Most of the time, the answer to that is no. But yeah, it's a really good game, and I do think solo, like, once, yeah, play with 6 Marines the first few times, but you can jump that up to like 8 Marines, 10 Marines, 12 Marines pretty quickly, and just kind of see those interplays. But yeah, you lose a couple of Marines early, like that is like game over. But then you get on some rolls where you just start rolling really well, and it's amazing like what you can do. But yeah, it's really good, man. It's really good. And it's again, it's nice to have like the small box, like Friday, Space Hulk. Um, what else is a small box? This game is like I thought this game was going to come in a much bigger box than what it did. I was pleasantly surprised because space is always at a premium, so they packed a lot in there. Again, I still wish this was an actual. I mean, maybe they did it for the box. I don't. There's enough room in that box to give me a nice board that folds. I don't know. This thing, I like literally like in my basement ironing this because the creases were so bad. I was like, what am I doing? What has my life become that I'm in the back room ironing a board game? Oh boy. Life goals unlocked. Life achievement unlocked, I should say. But yeah, this is good. This is really good. The loot normally plays a much bigger role in the game. Again, I was very busy dealing with police fans early, so I wasn't able to really develop much there. Got some lucky rolls when I needed them and was able to pull it off. So excited about that. So thank you to everybody joining. Thank you to everyone for joining me. Rogue, Jester, I think you are the last two standing, at least as far as the chat's concerned. I don't know if Zach's still chilling out there. I know Mike said goodbye. Sajid said goodbye. This was cool. Any questions, comments, epiphanies, put them in the comment section below. I am going to be off on Thanksgiving festivities with my wife's family for the next few days. So excited about that. I hope everyone who celebrates Thanksgiving has a wonderful week with family and friends and loved ones and all of that. And if you are not celebrating Thanksgiving, I hope the same to you as well. To be quite honest, hope everyone's enjoying the World Cup action, and go team. Whatever team that might be for you. I'll be back next week on Tuesday with a playthrough of Maid's Night. I have no idea what I'm doing yet. And then Monday doing Maid's Night. Tuesday probably doing Cloud Spire, maybe-ish, sort of. And then I'm going to try to get a playthrough on the channel on Thursday. No guarantees there. Next week is PAX. So PAX Unplugged is going to dominate my the latter half of next week for me. But we'll be back to a minimum of a 3 playthrough a week, as much as I can, until the end of the year as we head in earnest into the holiday season. So thanks for joining me. Have a great week, everybody. And until next time, happy gaming.
Solo.